Hello, Dana. I'm back. About 6 minutes and 20, so whenever it works for you, I'm ready. Do what? Do you have does he have the opener on there? I'll just wait till I hear that. We're getting close, Dana. Welcome, everybody, to Billy Fager Fieldhouse here in St. Paul, Kansas, where tonight the St. Paul Indians take on the Frontenac Raiders, who come to town for a boys and girls matchup tonight. The girls are coming off of a nice victory on Tuesday. They played Pleasanton, were able to come out of there with a 46-38 win. Want to welcome everybody to the Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. It'll be an abbreviated pregame show. Got a little bit of a late start. The JV boys game ran a little bit long on us, and so we're a little bit behind schedule. About 2 minutes left here before this one tips off, and we'll take a little break here when they do the national anthem, get you to starting lineups. But nice game put together the other night by the Lady Indians. They came out, like I said, with a 46-38 win over the Pleasanton Blue Jays, and really continued their winning ways since they came out on a third-place finish at the Lancer Classic down at Southeast. So we're going to get ready for the national anthem. You've been listening to the Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back with the starting lineups after this. You're listening to St. Paul Indian Basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse here in St. Paul, where the Frontenac Raiders came to town tonight for boys and girls matchup, getting ready for girls starting lineups. You're listening to the Ritchie Pharmacy pregame show here on Hot 105. We appreciate Ritchie's Pharmacy's sponsorship of the pregame show. Also appreciate Farmers Bank. They're our game sponsor for this game and all the other games all season long. If you're able to join us on the internet, you can do so and enjoy the live stream. If you'll find the KKOY website, which is hot1055.net, and scroll down to the St. Paul Indian banner, click on the banner, and take you right to the live stream feed. You can watch the game and hear the audio just like you would on the radio. So starting lineups tonight for the Raiders, led off by number 2, Jaden Meyer. Meyer's a junior. For St. Paul, number 11, Taylor Watrick, a 5'4 junior. For Frontenac, number 5, Karma Fields. She is also a junior. And for St. Paul, the lone senior on the team, number 12, Sydney McCracken. Sydney's a 5'7 senior. For Frontenac, number 10, Reagan Hipfel. Reagan is a sophomore for the Lady Raiders. For St. Paul, number 14, Emily Hutcherson, the 5'6 junior, gets the start tonight. And for the Lady Raiders, number 12, Abby Butcher, who is a sophomore over at Frontenac. The Indians tonight, Claire Bradshaw, number 25, 5'8 freshman, is going to get the start to round out the 5th spot for the Indians. For the Raiders, number 24, Bria Ginnivan. She's a junior for Frontenac. And rounding out the lineup tonight for St. Paul will be number 33, Katie Coombs, the junior, 5'10 junior for the Indians. So the Indians start their usual 5 tonight. They interchange a little bit with Bradshaw, and sometimes Katie Carter, Elise Doherty take turns. Bradshaw getting the start tonight, but I'm sure it won't be long before we see Carter and Doherty coming in off the bench. Taylor Watrick had a good game the other night. She fouled out of the game, but she played a really good defensive game, and those quick hands and quick feet were really a challenge for Pleasanton. We'll see how that works out tonight against the Lady Raiders with that man defense that St. Paul runs so well. St. Paul's biggest issue tonight is going to be putting points on the board. They've struggled a little bit from the field, been hot and cold in their shooting, mostly cold recently, so hopefully they'll be able to turn that around tonight. So 8 minutes on the clock here in the first period. Mike McCracken joining you. Dan is off tonight. Keith Smith going to sneak up here in just a minute, and he'll help me out, try to keep me lined out on some stats. So we'll do our best to bring you the coverage of the games tonight. So appreciate you listening to the Ritchie's Pharmacy Show, and here we go, ready for tip-off. Got Katie Coombs out there. She's lined up at midcourt against number 10, Hipfel. And Frontenac controls the jump, goes to Hipfel at the free throw line, who kicks it out to Meyer. Meyer passes the ball around out front to Ginnivan, who throws it to the left side, and that is Butcher. Now to the right side, feet underneath to Karma Fields for the Raiders. She doesn't take the shot, kicks it back out. Almost a turnover there by the Lady Raiders. Move the ball around the floor, trying to get something going on offense. That defense working pretty well so far for the Indians, closing off inside the lane. Frontenac still moving the ball around over on the left side now. That's Ginnivan with it. She kicks it off to Butcher out front, who throws it the right side. It comes off of Meyer, goes outside off of Meyer, and the Indians will get the ball on the Frontenac turnover. So early turnover by the Lady Raiders. We'll get things started there. Keith, thanks for joining us up here. Appreciate your help.
Hey, no problem, Mike. It was a really good defense by the Indians, and turn around.
And that quick, they brought the ball in bounds and made the first pass, and it went out of bounds off Watrick's hands, so the Lady Indians turn it right back over to Frontenac. So no score here, 7:16 left in the first quarter. Frontenac's going to inbounds the ball. That is Meyer with it out front. Moving around to the right side. Shot put up there by Butcher. Goes in. And the Raiders take a 2-0 lead as St. Paul brings the ball down the floor. Watrick crosses midcourt pass to McCracken. Back out front now to Watrick. Setting up that offense. Right side to McCracken. Pass inside to Coombs up on the right elbow and down low to Emily Hutcherson, who drives the baseline, puts up the shot, but she's fouled. First foul of the ball game tonight, and that'll be on number 10, Reagan Hipfel. That'll be her first. Team foul number 1 for the Lady Raiders. Emily Hutcherson go to the line to shoot 2.
Emily had a shot on the outside, pulled it in, went up inside and attracted a crowd, and just couldn't finish.
Yeah, just drove the lane, drew the foul. First shot up and off. Lady Indians have struggled a little bit at the free throw line, been kind of hot and cold. Second free throw's up, and it rolls in and out. No good. Still 2-0 in favor of the Lady Raiders as they bring the ball back down the floor now. Throw it around on the right side. The pass was intended for Ginnivan. She couldn't get a handle. It went outside, but it was off of one of the Indians, so the Raiders retain possession. As they go to throw the ball in bounds, comes into Meyer. Meyer looks to the left side. Now is Fields, who passes it to Ginnivan. She puts up the shot. It's off. Rebound, Claire Bradshaw. Bradshaw brings it down the floor, passes across midcourt to Hutcherson, who dribbles around front to the right side, swings it down now to McCracken in the corner. Long cross-court pass by McCracken over to Katie Coombs, right back to McCracken now out on the right wing. She throws it out front to Emily Hutcherson, and they move the ball around the left side. Bradshaw has it, down to McCracken, down low. She dribbles towards the lane, picks up her dribble, passes it back out to Watrick. Watrick going to drive the right side of the lane, puts up an underhanded, kind of a wild shot off the backboard, no good. Frontenac with the rebound, comes down the floor on a fast break, but loses the handle on it. That is Butcher, and they're called for a double dribble and a turnover, so St. Paul get the ball back.
There's a late whistle on that. She double dribbled, and the ball went to the ground, and he picked it up. Was that a possession deal? Or?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what they called on there. St. Paul bring the ball in, and they turn it over themselves. Try to put up the shot. That was Meyer trying to put up the shot, but Emily Hutcherson fouled her on the shot, so Meyer would go to the line to shoot two. That'd be the first foul on Emily Hutcherson, first team foul for St. Paul.
I thought Emily had that clean.
Yeah, it looked kind of clean.
She might have had a hand on the other side.
So Meyer steps to the line. First shot for her is up, and it is off the back of the rim. Still 2-0, 5:47 left here in the first period as we're just underway in St. Paul against the Lady Raiders from Frontenac. Meyer's second shot's up and through there. They give Frontenac a 3-0 lead as St. Paul brings the ball inbounds to Watrick, who walks it up the floor. Kind of a three-quarter court pressure by the Lady Raiders as Watrick brings it across, passes it out to Hutcherson. She's deep on the right side, swings it around the left side now to McCracken. Cross-court pass to Watrick, and Watrick's going to take the three. It's no good off the back glass, but it's rebounded by Bradshaw, puts up the shot. She's fouled. Fouled there, I think, by number 10, Reagan Hipfel, which, if it is, could be Hipfel's second foul. I'll check that. It's going to be on Ginnivan, who is also in the area. So Ginnivan with her first, and Claire Bradshaw will go to the free throw line. Her first shot's up, and off the front of the rim, no good. The free throw struggles continue for the Lady Indians. Bradshaw looks over, gets ready for her second shot now. It's up. Off the back of the rim this time, no good. In and out. And Frontenac comes down with it as they bring the ball down the floor. That's Ginnivan. She passes it over to the right side inside now to Hipfel. Puts up the shot, no good. Katie Coombs comes down with the rebound. Kicks it out to Hutcherson, who brings it down the floor against Frontenac. Got a 1-on-2. She threw her shoulder in, put the shot up, and it's good, but she's fouled. The Lady Raider didn't get her feet set, so Emily drew the foul, the block. Got the shot to go, 3-2 now, and Emily get a bonus. Fouls on number 24, Ginnivan. That's her first. Check that, number 5, Fields, her first. Team foul number 3 for Frontenac. Hutcherson's bonus shot's up and no good. Still missing on the free throws there. And Sydney McCracken tries to come down with it, but her foot was out of bounds, so Raiders will take possession. As Meyer throws the ball in now and passes it over to the left side to Fields. Comes up the court, guarded by Hutcherson. Passes it off to Butcher, who's got it out front. Passes it to Meyer. And to the left side, back to Butcher on the wing. Back out front now to Ginnivan, who throws it underneath to Hipfel. Hipfel dumps it off to Butcher, who came inside the lane, or Ginnivan came inside the lane, and she put up the shot. Was no good. St. Paul with the rebound. Claire Bradshaw bringing the ball down the floor, and she gets fouled by number 12, Butcher.
Yeah, I'd like to see her rack up some fouls. She seems to be the one making the shots.
Yeah, she's got a lot of things going on down there. So McCracken and Bradshaw will check out of the game. We'll see Katie Carter. Hutcherson comes out too. So it's Carter, Watrick, Elise Doherty, Katie Coombs, and Emerald Struthers now on the floor for the Lady Indians. Watrick brings the ball up to midcourt, passes it off left side to Doherty, back to Watrick, over to Carter. On the right side now, looking over the defense, trying to find someone open inside. Coombs wants it, finally gets it underneath, and she tries to pass to Doherty, who's cutting across the bottom of the lane, but it's intercepted. Turnover on the Indians as Frontenac brings it back down the floor. Frontenac turns it over themselves. That's Ginnivan. Tried to make a move on Emerald Struthers, but traveled, so traveling call will give the Indians the ball back. Carter throws it into Watrick. Full court pressure now by the Lady Raiders as Watrick brings it up across midcourt. Drives the lane herself, feeds it off to Coombs. Coombs can't get the handle, goes out of bounds. Another turnover on St. Paul. So turnovers and lack of free throw shooting have St. Paul behind 3-2 here with 4:07 left in the first quarter.
That pass was awful low for Katie to
low,
pick
yeah.
up, but she still should have had some hands on it.
Yeah. So Frontenac basketball. Frontenac going left to right as you look at your radio. Their basket will be on the right end of the floor. Pass underneath. Shot out front now from Meyer. It's off, and it'll go out of bounds. St. Paul will take over.
Sometimes those bounce, they sit there and let it go out of bounds. Sometimes you got to be careful because you never want to save it under the opponent's bucket.
Yeah.
But still, you don't want them to save it either. So.
That's right. Well, St. Paul's ball. Watrick breaks the press, gets it across midcourt, passes it back out to Carter, who went to take the three, but she took a step first, so traveling.
Yeah, she caught the pass and then
tried to jump stop, but had a 2 feet hit, and so called her for the travel. Another turnover for St. Paul.
That's one of those that could have went either way. As long as they call them consistent, that's what you want.
We'll see how it goes. So Frontenac's got the ball now. Try to pass it underneath. It's an errant pass over the head of Ginnivan, and Doherty comes up with it. She goes the length of the floor now, but kicks it back out to to Coombs out front, who goes back to Doherty from the left side. 3-pointers off, no good. Carter comes up with it, goes to the right side now on the wing. Pass down low to Watrick. She's going to bring it back out front. Now she's slapped away there. The ball slapped away by Ginnivan out of bounds. St. Paul maintained possession as number 43. That is Sellers. Caitlin Sellers checks into the game.
23 and 33 too. Yeah.
And Riley Forrest, number 23. And who's the other one?
Heather Arnett, number 33.
Arnett, yeah. So Frontenac pretty deep on the bench. Probably see a lot of substitutions out of them tonight. Hutcherson's got the ball now out front, passes it over to the left side to Struthers. Struthers back out front to Carter. Swings it right to Coombs. Cross-court pass now back to Hutcherson on the left. She tries to feed to Coombs in the middle, throws it right to the Lady Raider, who's driving the length of the floor. She puts up a jump shot. That is 33. Arnett just into the game and puts 2 points on the board for Frontenac. 5-2 now is your score. 2:48 left here in the first. Doherty had it on the right side, but she got a slap foul by Ginnivan. She's Ginnivan's second foul.
Doherty got bailed out there a little bit.
She's going to get trapped over there, I think, in that corner. Second foul on Ginnivan. Team foul number 5 for Frontenac. 1 team foul for the Indians as Hutcherson's got the ball now, bringing it up the floor for the Indians. Right side to Carter. Carter looking around. Can't find anyone open, so she dribbles back out front, kicks it back right now to Struthers, who throws it immediately to Hutcherson. At the top of the key to the right wing to Coombs. Back to Hutcherson out front. Feeds it to Coombs in the right elbow inside the lane. She's got to do something with it. She finally puts up the shot. No foul called. She got hit on the arm, but no foul. Frontenac coming down the floor. That is Arnett. She puts up the layup too hard, but Frontenac with the rebound. Fields, and she puts up the 16-footer, and she's fouled way out front. Makes the basket and drew the foul. It's going to be a foul on Sydney McCracken. No, that's not right.
I was going to say.
She's not on the floor. 21, okay. Katie Carter gets that foul. Second team foul for St. Paul. As Fields will go to the free throw line for the bonus, and she makes it. So 3-point play there by Frontenac gives them an 8-2 lead with 2:11 left in the first quarter. The Indians going to have to get something going on offense as they bring the ball up the floor. Hutcherson's got it now at midcourt, guarded out front there. Pressure by the Raiders. Watrick over to Struthers. Struthers looking for Coombs underneath. Throws it cross court to Hutcherson. Hutcherson drives the baseline, puts up the shot. No foul called, and then she gets it to go. So 8-4 now is the Raiders' lead. Here come the Raiders. That is Hipfel, the other Hipfel. There's 2 Hipfel girls on the Raiders team. This is Grayson Hipfel. She's a sophomore. She passes it over to the right side to Arnett. Down low now. Shot put up by Fields from the right side, and it goes through. She wasn't very well covered there by the Indians. 10-4 is the score with 1:24 left now in the first quarter. as Watrick brings the ball up. She's fouled on the far side near midcourt. That'll be a foul on number 33, Arnett. That's a 6-team foul on the Lady Raiders. So one more, they'll be in the bonus. Put the Indians in the bonus. Indians basketball, bringing in to Watrick. Pressure out front there by Hipful. She kicks it off right side to Struthers. Struthers fakes the ball back out front. Instead goes to Hutcherson on the right elbow. Back to Struthers with the head fake. Now back to Hutcherson, who's got it on the right wing. She's got her foot planted, passes it off to Watrick. Down, she tries to feed Coombs, but it's too high. Goes over her head. Another turnover by the Indians as Fields brings it the length of the floor. Takes a look and backs off now. Guarded there by Hutcherson. Outside to Hipful. Drives the baseline on Doherty. Tries to feed it off to Forrest. She can't get a handle. Frontenac maintains control as Fields has it out front. Left side now to Hipful. Hipful driving down towards the left side. Kicks it back out to Fields. Intercepted there by Taylor Watrick. She's all by herself for the layup. And it's off. She can't get it to go. All by herself down there. Couldn't get the layup to fall. And then she commits a foul, a reach foul, as Arnett was bringing the ball up the floor. Watrick reached in, got her on the arm.
I'll tell you what, Watrick just went too hard to the basket. She
Yeah.
had nobody around.
Yeah.
And just she's too much backboard.
Yeah.
She just laid it
Put
up
up
in
too
there.
hard.
Yeah.
So 16 fouls on Frontenac, 3 on the Indians. Frontenac's basketball. Watrick almost with the steal, still fighting for it, but Frontenac maintains control. That is Fields who has it now, dribbling down the right side of the lane. She goes right into Watrick, and Watrick stays there with her feet planted, gets the charge. So that'll be the 7th team foul on the Lady Raiders. First foul on
I think it's the second one. Oh, first on
first
her,
on
okay.
Fields, I thought, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the Indians with a break there. Now they need to put some points on the board as Hutcherson gets it knocked away, but Watrick comes up with it.
Better do something.
Got to do something. The clock's 6 seconds left. The clock's running. They have to do something. Hutcherson drives the basket, takes the Euro step, puts up the shot off the rim. No good. Boy, they missed an opportunity there, Keith.
Yeah.
To put some points on the board.
St. Paul just doesn't look
Not looking very good. Not looking in sync yet here.
No, they're sure not.
Come to the end of the first quarter, score 10-7 in favor of the Raiders. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105.
Was 2 on number 5.
Okay.
I thought that's what I had.
That's what I thought too, yeah. Welcome back to St. Paul High School, Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where the Lady Raiders from Frontenac come to town, and they end the first quarter with a lead of 10-4 over the Indians. 8 minutes on the clock. We'll go to the second period here as the Raiders have the basketball. They throw it in bounds. Out front now is Hipful, who's got it. She kicks it off left side to Meyer. Tries to make a pass underneath. Picked off there by Hutcherson. Turnover on the Raiders as Hutcherson brings it quickly up the floor. Passes it down low to Watrick on the right side. The long three-pointer, and it rattles through there.
Nice shot.
Finally got one to go, did Taylor Watrick for the 3. So 10-7 now is our score as the Raiders come back down the floor. Guarded out there by Bradshaw as the Raiders are stuck deep. Got it wide open underneath on the right side. Shot put up there by Abby Butcher, and it goes through.
Dave Frontenac doesn't miss on
No, they don't miss
when
a
you give
lot.
them a shot. Give them a wide open look.
Indians bringing the ball now up the floor. Watrick's got on the right side. Cross-court pass to Hutcherson. She looks underneath, no one home, so she kicks it back right side now to Watrick. Down low to Bradshaw. Bradshaw going to throw it across. The long pass cross court to McCracken. She puts up the 3. Oh, it's off the back of the rim. Bounces out front to Watrick, who comes up with it. She passes off to Bradshaw, who puts up the three of her own and doesn't catch anything except maybe the bottom of the net. So St. Paul unable to make anything happen offensively, get anything to fall. That was a two-pointer now put up there by Frontenac as they brought the ball down quickly. Butcher puts up the two-pointer just inside the line, but it's off. St. Paul comes back with it as Bradshaw drives the length of the floor and runs into the defender who was set, draws the charge. So good idea there by Bradshaw to go the length of the floor, but the Raiders were set on defense and got the charge call against Bradshaw. That's her first, the team foul number 4 for the Lady Indians. Frontenac basketball now as they bring it across midcourt. That is Hogard, guarded by Coombs. Frontenac moving the ball around out front to Meyer. Quickly now to the left side to Butcher. Down low to Hogard. Swinging around to the right side, trying to put a move on McCracken there. Shot out front almost, didn't take it. Made the fake towards the basket. That is number 33, Arnett. She faked the shot and then tried to dribble around Emily Hutcherson, but drew the foul. This will be the second foul on Emily Hutcherson as Arnett will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. First shot's up and through there. 13-7 is the score. 6:14 left in the first half. Team fouls, Frontenac with 7, St. Paul with 5. As Arnett lines up for her second shot. And it's up, rattles off the back, no good. Tipped out of bounds off of Frontenac, so St. Paul will get the ball. Claire Bradshaw steps out of the baseline, looks to throw it in now. Gets it to Watrick. Full court pressure still applied by the Lady Raiders. Meyer got pressure out front on Watrick. She's double teamed, tries to split it, and almost turns the ball over. McCracken comes up with it, throws it to Claire Bradshaw, tries to dump it off to Coombs. Can't do it, but it's deflected by, I thought it was deflected off Frontenac, but they're saying it's off of one of the Indians. So turnover on the Indians, another turnover. And the woes continue here in the first half. The Raiders bring the ball down the floor. It's knocked out of bounds there by Watrick.
It's almost like there's a hex on St. Paul girls and boys team the last 3 or 4 games. They
really having some struggles.
Can't finish. They can't find the bottom of the net. It just.
There's a drive along the baseline. Nice pass out front. Quick little pass to Hippel. She puts up the shot. It's off underneath the rim. No good. So St. Paul get another chance. They come down the floor. The Bradshaw's got it. She's double teamed. Left side to Watrick. Down low to Katie Carter. Puts up the 3. Nothing. It's a backboard is all. Didn't come close to the rim. And Frontenac with the rebound. So Frontenac now with the ball over on the right side. Pass underneath to Hipfel. She's tied up underneath there by McCracken, Watrick, and Coombs. We'll see the foul's called on one of the 3. We'll see which one they're going to call it on.
I thought she stepped on a line there.
She stepped out of bounds. She was awful close, but they're going to call that on McCracken. That'd be her first, team foul number 6 for the Indians. So Frontenac ball inbound play underneath their own basket. She throws it into Meyer, puts up the shot, no good, and Watrick comes up with the rebound. 2-on-1 now. Watrick driving the floor. Euro step, but they're going to call her for the try. I think she wanted a Euro step, but she thought about it too late, and she probably did travel there.
I think she was counting on some defense or bumping into somebody. And
just couldn't get everything rolling at the same time in the right direction there. So another turnover on the Indians. And Frontenac will take the ball. Full court pressure now by the Indians as Watrick has got pressure on her out front. They finally get across midcourt now. 5:08 left here in the second quarter. Frontenac looking to build on that lead. Bad pass through the middle. It's picked up by Claire Bradshaw. Turnover on the Raiders, and she loses it herself. Now gets it back at midcourt. Throws it off to Carter underneath. Carter too hard. No good, but it's a foul on the floor underneath. I think it was after the shot. But it's going to be a 1-and-1. It's going to foul on Hipfel, Reagan Hipfel this time. That is her second foul, team foul number 8, and Claire Bradshaw will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
Right now, Claire's 0 for 2 at the free throw line. No points tonight yet.
That seems to be what's going on with the Lady Indians. See if she can break that. Here she does. Gets the first one to go through. She'll get another chance.
Right now, Emily Hutcherson has 4 points, and Taylor Watrick 3, and that 1 point by
Bradshaw's second shot. Up and off the right side of the rim and knocked out of bounds by Coombs Frontenac basketball. So 13-8 your score, 4:52 left in the second period of this game against the CNC League Frontenac Raiders. nice to have the Raiders come over here and play. I know it's a good experience, a little bigger school, but pass underneath there by Frontenac into the lane. They're tied up with Bradshaw and Arnett fighting for it. And St. Paul take over on the possession arrow. So turnover on the Raiders. Inbound pass to Watrick. Little pressure, easy pressure out there by Meyer. Full court pressure by the Raiders, and Watrick loses a handle for a minute, but gets it back to Bradshaw. Comes across midcourt, dumps it off the right side to Carter. Carter looking around for someone to go to, and finally gets it down to Katie Coombs on the right side. Coombs puts up the air ball over the rim. She was almost behind the backboard, so bad angle, and it went over the rim. Frontenac down with the basketball. That was Arnett with the drive and put up the kind of a wild shot off the backboard. Bradshaw coming up with it.
I think that was a Scandinavian jump, not a Euro jump.
Yeah. And the Lady Indians bring down the floor, almost a turnover there. Bradshaw able to keep a handle on it. Now it's another fight for it as Frontenac comes up with it. And that is Butcher, who drove in for the layup, but she is fouled also on the shot by Sydney McCracken. That'll be the second foul, I believe, on McCracken, team foul number 7. And Butcher made the shot. She'll go to the line to try to get the three-point play. McCracken and Bradshaw checking out for the Indians. Struthers and Doherty check back into the game. Butcher's bonus shot is up and through there. 16-8 now is the lead by the Lady Raiders.
That puts her at 6 points for the night. She's leading right now with Carmen Fields with 5 and Heather Arnett with 3 for the Raiders.
St. Paul going to have to get some offense going. They're going to have 8 points. They'll be lucky to hit double digits unless they change their luck. They can't get anything to fall here in the first half. There's another almost turnover by the Indians as they bring the ball down the floor. Katie Coombs has it. Back out to Watrick. Maintains control, but they almost turned it over again. Watrick now out front, kicks to the left side to Struthers. Cross-court pass to Doherty. It's kind of a high, slow pass. Watrick comes up after Doherty passes it out front to her and dribbles to the right side. She's guarded heavily out there. Finally gets it into Coombs, who puts up the shot. No foul called. She was mugged underneath there, and they didn't call a foul. As Frontenac gets the ball back as they bring it down, try to feed it underneath, and they get it under there to Forrest, who puts it up for 2. 18-8 is the score. Coach Tuck's going to take a timeout and visit, and we will too. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back. Billy Fager Fieldhouse here in St. Paul as the Lady Indians struggling against the Lady Raiders from Frontenac behind 18-8. 3:10 left in the first half. The Lady Indians with the ball now, and Watrick brings it across midcourt, try and see if they can get something to fall. Back out front now to Katie Carter. Carter looks it over and pass to Doherty on the right side. Now to Struthers out front, back to Watrick again on the right wing underneath the Coombs. Coombs bounces off, tries to put up a shot again, and it's rebounded by Emerald Struthers. She puts up the follow-up, and she gets the foul.
I didn't know if they was going to call a foul on that one.
I wasn't sure either, but Coombs got knocked down on the floor. That's why it took me a second. I thought, gee whiz, they didn't call it again on Coombs. She's taking a beating under that. That's the third foul, though, on Ginnivan. Maria Ginnivan, the junior for Frontenac. Struthers going to line up to shoot 2. Her first shot's up there, and good. Finally getting some free throws in is Struthers for the Indians. First basket in a while since Watrick's three-pointer.
Seems like St. Paul's passing and shooting has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah,
Mike. You think
they've kind of gone cold for sure. So Struthers going to try to get the next one in. Her shot's up, rolling around, drops in, 18-10.
You have to hand it to Frontenac's defense. It's really aggressive and
they
tough
are
like
playing
St.
aggressive,
Paul,
just like St. Paul
but still,
does.
St. Paul, should be used to that and should be making crisper passes and better shots.
Frontenac with the ball now. Pass it around on the left side to Hannah Hill, who's in the game now for the Raiders. Tries to pass it underneath, but it's taken away by Struthers. Turnover on the Raiders as Struthers brings the ball up to midcourt. Struthers almost walks with it, finds Doherty at the free throw line. She throws it to Coombs underneath. Coombs makes a nice move, puts up the shot, no good. Tries to get the rebound. They struggle for it. It goes to the right side off of the Indians.
St. Paul just can't finish under the basket.
Yeah, just can't get anything to finish. They can't get a rebound, and when they do, they put up a shot and can't get the shot to fall.
So there's 10 to 12, 15 points.
Yeah,
that just
they've left some points out there for sure. Raiders basketball, bringing the ball up the floor now with 2:06 left in the first half. Indians trail 18 to 10.
Oh.
Foul out front there, I think, on Watrick with the reach. Fouled on Watrick against Karma Fields, and it is Watrick's second foul.
You know, the shot selection isn't that bad, Mike. They've been taking some good-looking shots. They just cannot find the bottom of the net.
Yeah. And like Frontenac has been pretty hot at the free throw line. Fields puts her first shot up, and I jinxed her, which is good. She missed the shot. And St. Paul with the rebound. Watrick comes down the floor with it now to try and put some points on the board before half. They've made it to 10. Need to build that up here, try to get a little closer before they go into halftime. Doherty's got it now on the left side, dribbles out front, looks at Watrick, now throws it over to Watrick. She's deep on the right side near half court. A couple dribble steps up down to Carter, and she's fouled out there by number 23, Riley Forrest, for the Raiders. That'll be the ninth team foul on the Raiders. So Watrick will get to go to the line. Carter, rather, get to go to the line for the 1-and-1. See how Katie Carter can do here at the free throw line. Carter looks at it. First shot's up. Off the back of the rim, no good.
Seems like, you know, when they're dribbling out on top, they dribble with the defense instead of cutting back or
not
trying
getting
to
the ball moved around.
Yeah, they just.
Which is kind of uncharacteristic, Keith. Usually they're pretty good at drawing the defense, and then that cross-court pass pretty effective, but not working that way tonight. Carter's second shot now is up and off the front of the rim, no good. But a rebound by Struthers puts it up, no good. And Frontenac comes down with the rebound. So they had an opportunity there after the free throw. Struthers put up the shot under the basket, couldn't get it to go. And Frontenac comes down the floor with it again. The drive against Katie Coombs there, that is Hipful. The ball's knocked away back to the corner. Coombs, good defense back there in the corner, kicks it out front now to Hannah Hill. Hill passes it off, almost loses a handle on it. St. Paul just about got the turnover there on him. Well, that was a good pick there as Fields driving it under the basket, kicks it out front. The long three-pointer from out front by Arnett is no good. St. Paul with the rebound as Struthers comes down and loses the handle. Now it's on the floor in the lane. It's going to be called a jump ball. The possession arrow will give it back to Frontenac. So another turnover by the Lady Indians. Boy, they've got a lot of turnovers, more turnovers than they've got points almost, I think, in this first half.
You know, their offense is really good until they get to the free throw line.
Yep.
Free throw line to the basket, it just melts.
The dead zone in there. Pass down underneath by Frontenac. Out front now to Arnett. Over left side. Kicks it out to Hipful. Grayson Hipful takes a long three-pointer off the front of the rim. No good. And Katie Carter comes away with it. Gets it out to Doherty, who brings it across midcourt now for the Indians. Oh, long pass, but she threw it right to, tried to throw it to Struthers, but it was picked off by Arnett. She drove the length of the floor and put up a shot. No good. Frontenac rebounded, got a second attempt, and they were fouled. That was Grayson Hipful, got the rebound, put the shot right back up, and was fouled there by Claire Bradshaw. That's Bradshaw's second foul, team foul 9 for the Indians. Hipful's first shot's up, rattles around, it goes up off the backboard but doesn't fall through. 18 to 10 to score, 22.5 seconds left here in the first half where the Lady Indians have struggled. Second shot up now and through there, 19 to 10, 9-point lead for the Raiders.
On that last possession, Doherty sat there, she picked up her dribble, looked at her player forever, and then passed the ball, just telegraphed it.
12 seconds left now as the Lady Indians trying to make something happen here on offense. Look a little bit confused, almost another bad pass by Struthers. It's knocked out away by Hipful.
Oh, wow.
Boy, they called that, well, I thought it went off Hipful, but they must have called it off Katie Coombs, who she was trying to pass it to. So regardless, Frontenac will get the basketball with 5 seconds, 5.7 left here before halftime. Be sure to join us at halftime. We'll have the Labette Health halftime show and talk about what there is of stats of the 10-point first half by the Lady Indians. Frontenac inbounds the ball over to Hipful on the left side. Tries to get it underneath, and she does. Gets it under there to Hannah Hill, but she loses the ball. Struthers tries to throw a shot up, but the buzzer had already sounded. So at halftime, 19-10 in favor of the Lady Raiders. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to the Labette Health Halftime Show here, where we're at halftime. The Lady Indians trailing the Lady Raiders from Frontenac by the score of 19-10 in what was a pretty rough first half for the Lady Indians, only coming out with 10 points there in the first half, Keith.
Yeah, they just I hate to say they didn't play inspired because they hustled on defense. They got around. They even tried to make some plays on offense. It just seemed like there's lead in their water bottle or something like that. I mean, they just could not finish and could not as I said before, from the free throw line to the basket, it just seemed like their hands go to mush.
Yeah, it's just, something that's really something we haven't seen much out of the Lady Indians. We've seen them start out a little bit rusty before, but it seems like they're able to get things rolling again and straighten the ship or right the ship and come out and start putting some points on the board. But they really struggled in that first half. They just couldn't get anything to go their way. A lot of turnovers, and then when they did finally get a chance to take a shot, they couldn't get anything to fall. And it was like there was a lid on top of the basket because it's just, whether it was right underneath or from outside or even from the free throw line, there's just nothing going down for the Indians.
And on the other side of it, Frontenac, if there was two of those players that if they got an open look, it's almost guaranteed they were going to put it to the bottom of the net.
Yeah, Frontenac, to their credit, they played really a good defense against that Lady Indians, trying to shut off that underneath. They knew that the Indians were going to try and work the ball down to Katie Coombs, which is kind of their MO, and they like to do that as much as they can. But it just wasn't happening for them because Frontenac doing a pretty good job shutting off that interior and not allowing Coombs a chance to get open under there and make the shot when she did. Like I said, having a tough time getting the fall. But on the other end of the floor, that usually pretty tough Indians man-to-man defense, it's not that it didn't work, it just didn't work well enough and allowed them to get a couple of times they were left somebody open on the cut on the backside, but they were also able to drive the lane on them a couple of times and make some shots, and they were making theirs, like you said. So they're having some luck down, get things to fall.
Another thing, like you said, when they could get a pass into Katie Coombs, it seemed like we couldn't complete the pass. Either it was too low or not right, and she couldn't get it, or if she got it and went for the shot, she had 2 or 3 players sagging on her. You think there'd be a kick-out opportunity there, kick it back out for a 3 or even a short, 2-pointer. But we just didn't see that in the first half.
Yeah, and she was double or triple teams at times when she did finally get the ball underneath. And it was almost like it was grease on it or something because they just had trouble getting her hands on it. There was some passes also that weren't the greatest over her head, and not only her, but some of the others, they through either lazy passes or high passes. There weren't very many good passes thrown in the first half.
I'm sure Coach Tuck will be in the locker room, trying to work something out with that, double, triple teaming on Katie Coombs low, where they can get some opportunities, from the free throw line or even outside the three-point line.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now, a little bit Health halftime show here, 19-10, Raiders ahead of the Indians. We're going to take another quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll give you what there is of the first half stats and get ready for the second half. You're listening to St. Paul Lady Indian Basketball on Hot 105. Did you get that? Did you get that from Adam?
No, I did not. I used to be on this deal, but I'm not anymore. That's all right. You can do them, and I'm good.
Not much to do.
Huh?
Not much to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Welcome back to St. Paul High School, St. Paul, Kansas, Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where tonight the Frontenac Raiders in town for the doubleheader of ladies and the boys, both playing the Raiders tonight. First game of the night here, the Lady Indians against the Lady Raiders. Indians got their hands full here, trailing 19-10 at halftime. First half stats for the Indians, not much to talk about with only 10 points. Really the story of the first half, shooting percentage and turnovers. The shooting percentage overall for the Indians, they only shot 23% from the field. That may be the worst we've seen all season as a first half stat for the Lady Indians. They shot 27% from two-point range, and three-point range only 16%. And also the other big number, free throw shooting for the Indians, 2 for 10, which is only 20%. It's going to have to get a lot better for them to have a chance here against these Raiders from Frontenac. Individually for the Lady Indians, Emily Hutcherson had 4 points. Taylor Wattrick with 3. She had the 1 3-pointer. You had Katie Carter with 2 and Emerald Struthers also with 2. So the Indians' shooting struggles really a problem, and hopefully at halftime Coach Tuck able to come out with some adjustments. And traditionally we've been able to see that, and I think we will, Keith, here in the second half, see some adjustments by the Indians on offense. But I think he'll also have them and told them that they're going to have to pick up and be a little more aggressive on defense as well.
Yeah, they've not been playing out of their game as far as defense. They could step it up, like you say. They've left some open shots, haven't followed the trailer around, I don't think, because I think they're crashing too much to 1 or 2 players and leaving some wide open shots by Fields and by Butcher, I believe it is.
Yeah. And
they're not missing. They're taking advantage of that. But they just need to step that up just a little bit. It's really on the offensive end and hitting those free throws. Again, this would be easily a tied game if they hit half the free throws and 1 or 2 of those bunnies underneath.
There's been a lot of points left on the floor by the Indians for sure, and so we'll see how that goes in the second half. The big number 2, I don't think I mentioned, was turnovers. Got them shown with 17 turnovers, I think it was, I saw in the first half. So That, you know, the turnovers really, you just can't. You're not going to win if you're turning the ball over like that.
If you're Frontenac's coach, you got to believe it's Christmas morning.
Yeah,
you know, because you're getting handed a gift here by St. Paul.
Bet.
And I think St. Paul will come out of that a little bit in the second half. They had been able to do that before, but they're going to have to really step it up.
Yeah, and that's for sure. It's 13. I take that back. I thought it was 17, but I double-checked my numbers here. It's 13 turnovers. Regardless, 13 or 17 is way too many. So hopefully here in the second half, things will turn around. Anyway, we've got 8 minutes on the clock as we get ready to start the third quarter. Appreciate everybody listening to the Labette Health halftime show. Stay tuned after the game. We'll have the KW Trucking postgame show following the game, and then we'll have the Ritchie's Pharmacy pregame show getting ready for the boys contest a little later. And right now, the Lady Indians and Lady Raiders getting last-minute instructions from their respective coaches. Raiders take the floor. It's going to be, looks like, I don't think that's the starting five, but you got Meyer, Fields. Arnett is going to start the second half for the Raiders, and Reagan Hippel. Indians have Watrick, Hutcherson, Bradshaw, McCracken, and Coombs on the floor. Here we go, second half underway. St. Paul's got the basketball to start the second half with McCracken out front, passes off left side to Watrick. Watrick, long cross-court pass, clear down to Claire Bradshaw on the right side outside the free throw line. Bradshaw lets the defense swing over her way, passes it out front to Hutcherson, feeds it into Coombs. She's triple-teamed, kicked it back to McCracken, but not enough time to get a shot off. Down low to McCracken again, tries to feed it to Coombs, right into the hands of Fields for the Raiders.
I was just going to say the passes are looking a lot better.
Yeah, until then, that's for sure. Raiders basketball down on their own end of the floor now. That's Hiffel. Grayson Hiffel driving the lane, puts up the shot. It's off. Rebound by the Indians as Hutcherson drives the length of the floor and across the lane, tries to put up the layup, gets it to go. So aggressive play there by Emily Hutcherson. Put some points on the board. Cut that lead 19-12. 7:03 left in the third quarter. Frontenac with the ball, feeding it around left side to Fields. Back now to Arnett. Out front to Hippel, Reagan Hippel. She's tied up there by Hutcherson as she passes it off to Fields. Hutcherson grabbed the ball around the side. Fields had it down too low, and Hutcherson took advantage of it, grabbed the ball. Frontenac's possession on the arrow. They'll bring the ball inbounds. Cross-court pass intercepted by Watrick. She's driving the floor, going to go for the layup. She does the Euro step right under the basket before she lets go. It goes off the bottom underneath side of the rim and comes back down to Frontenac. So she need to look up and get that layup timed a little bit better. Frontenac quickly back down the floor. Long three-pointer by Arnett. It's off the back of the rim, but they get their own rebound. And Hippel's got it underneath. Now back out front to Fields, who puts up the three. It's off. St. Paul fighting for it. It's going to go out of bounds off of Claire Bradshaw. Frontenac will retain possession. Boy, that was a chance for St. Paul to get the ball back. 2 3-pointers by the Raiders, both off, and the Indians just couldn't come up with it.
And that was rare because Fields had a wide open look, nobody on her, and she's hitting those earlier. I mean, not in three-point land, but from two-point land.
Frontenac tries to inbound the ball. It's knocked away there and goes over to the right side where Butcher tries to save it, falling out of bounds, kicks it in, and it goes back out off of Emerald Struthers. Frontenac get the ball, bring it back into bounds, into play. Pass to the left side now to Fields. Coombs knocks it away. It goes out of bounds again. So they got their hands moving, and they're getting some knockaways. There's just no one there to pick it up. Frontenac inbound the ball now. It comes into Butcher, who passes it around to the left side to Arnett. She kicks it out. Oh, that was a double dribble by Fields, but they didn't call it. She throws it back now to Fields, puts up the long three-pointer off the front of the rim. No good. Boy, there's no one there to rebound. Yeah, she was out of bounds. That was Arnett was out of bounds. It came back in to first one touched the ball. Should have been a turnover, and it was. That got knocked back out of bounds. But, yeah, they should have called that. They called a foul?
Yeah. On number 10.
Who did they call that on?
Reagan Hippel.
Okay, called a foul on Hippel, a push. Third foul on Hippel. First team foul for Frontenac. I think Paul's got the ball, bringing it in. Bradshaw's got it at midcourt. She's bumped from behind by Jaden Meyer. Quickly, Frontenac draws 2 fouls. Third foul, or that was the third foul on Hippel. First foul on Jaden Meyer. Second team foul for Frontenac.
It's an inadvertent bump, but you can't not call that one.
Yeah, you got to call that when they bump them like that there. So the Lady Indians are going to give it a shot again here on offense. Struthers out front over the left side to Hutcherson. Hutcherson cross-court pass to Watrick over her head into the back court where it's going to go out of bounds. Another bad pass.
Another turnover, yeah.
Turnover again by the Indians.
Just when they start to get some traction.
Yeah,
like
get a break and then can't do anything with it.
Settle down, they throw it away.
Sure do. So Lady Raiders will take over at mid-court, throw the ball inbounds as Hutcherson comes out. Doherty's in for Hutcherson. Inbounds play, Frontenac. That's Arnett with it out front. Kicks it off the right side to Fields. Fields driving the baseline. Tries to pass it underneath to Meyer, but it's picked off by St. Paul, so turnover on the Raiders.
And they about turned it over right there. Bradshaw picked up her dribble.
Yep.
Threw it in.
A long pass there by Watrick, and it was almost knocked away by the Raiders. They got that long pass is really getting them in trouble because the Raiders are really anticipating that, and they see it coming and they're just able to jump right in front of it.
Well, they're telegraphing those passes.
Yeah.
They stop, pick up their dribble, look at their, and
then
throw it. And they need to get that plan before they plant their foot.
Inbounds play. St. Paul's got the ball now. Watrick bringing it across midcourt. Right side now to Doherty, or to Bradshaw rather. Bradshaw with it, not dribbling, she's not guarded, but she passes it down to Struthers, brings it back around the front, tries to feed underneath to Bradshaw at the right side of the lane, kicks it out front to Watrick. Thought she might turn around and take the shot there. Watrick with it now. Cross-court pass to Doherty. St. Paul not getting the ball near the basket very well. Doherty rolled it off her thigh there. Thought they might call that. She kicks it to Watrick, no call there. Feeds it to Coombs underneath. Coombs pauses, tries to throw it to Struthers, but throws it over everyone's head and right out of bounds for another St. Paul turnover. Things is not working well for St. Paul. They can't get in sync together at all here, at all in this game really so far. 4:46 left in the third period. 19-12 is the score as the Raiders with the basketball and the lead.
You know, when you have that many turnovers, maybe you need to start taking, I won't say bad shots, but
just
not
start doing something, change your luck. Yeah.
Well, just taking some shots. I mean, at least.
Yep.
If you don't hit the shot, it comes
Frontenac not afraid to shoot. That's number 12, Butcher, with the three-pointer. She missed it. Watrick with the rebound. She's driving the floor now. She's guarded by Butcher. Tries to put up the shot off the right side. Gets it to go and draws the foul.
That was a nice drive by Taylor Watrick.
So Watrick trying to make some things happen and was able to get that one to go. 19-14 is your score, with Watrick going to try to make the three-point play with the bonus here. Second foul on Butcher. Watrick steps to the line, puts up the bonus shot. It's through there. 19-15 now is your score, with 4:21 left, third period. Frontenac with the basketball, bringing it up to midcourt, guarded out there by Watrick. Pass out front to Butcher, but there's a timeout called. There's going to be a Frontenac timeout. It's a full timeout, so we'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back. We're underway after the timeout with a turnover by the Raiders. St. Paul brings it down the floor and loses the handle on, almost turned it over themselves, but one of the Raiders touched it, so they'll maintain possession. Lucky break there for the Indians to get to keep possession of that ball after they got the turnover. So Watrick looking to bring it inbounds, passes it to the right elbow to Struthers. Out the left side to Doherty, loses the handle now, and she does turn it over.
Wow.
Dribbles it out of bounds.
Wow.
You know, whatever adjustments that they made at halftime, Keith, they haven't had time to try out because of the turnovers. Just eating them up here in the second half.
You know, starting to climb back in this game, and then they turn around and just throw the ball away.
Yeah. Frontenac ball as they bring the ball down the floor. St. Paul in a full court press, but Frontenac able to break the press as they dribble around underneath. Oh, turnover by Frontenac. Coombs comes up with it. That was Ginnivan who turned the ball over. As Coombs comes up with it, and Watrick dribbles down the floor, tries to make a move on Meyer, draws a foul on Meyer. That'll be Meyer's, I think it's her second foul. Team foul number 4 for the for the Raiders rather.
That's unusual too, Mike. We usually see St. Paul with 4 fouls,
yeah.
the team with none.
Yeah, no team fouls yet for St. Paul here in the second half. So if there is a bright spot, they're staying out of foul trouble, but might need to get a little more aggressive maybe.
As far as they played today, they've got a chance to get this within 2.
Yeah, they can move into 2 if they can
3,
get one to go here. Bradshaw's got it back out front to Watrick. Back out to Watrick again, and now over to Bradshaw. Moving the ball out, almost picked off on a pass to Struthers. Struthers drives to the right, left elbow out to Carter, who throws it back out to Bradshaw. Bradshaw towards the free throw line, puts up a shot too hard off. Rebound Frontenac, can't get any rebounds on the offensive board at all. So Frontenac with the basketball now, bringing it down the floor. That's Hogard with it. Tries to make the pass underneath, but there's a foul. She tried to pass it underneath to Forrest, who's in the game. Foul on Katie Coombs. Her first foul, team foul number 1 for the Indians, as Elise Doherty's checking into the game for Claire Bradshaw for the Indians. So Frontenac will have the ball inbounds underneath their own basket. Hogard looking to throw it in, and she gets it inbounds to Fields. Fields passes across court to Forrest. Back out front now, over to the left side to Hogard. Now Fields has it, throws it out the right side to Ginnivan. Ginnivan puts up an errant shot. It's partially blocked by Struthers.
Wow.
But Fields got the rebound and put the quick put back, and it was good. 21-15 is the score now in favor of Frontenac. Watrick brings the ball down, goes into the lane, passes it out to Carter. They swing it around left side to Struthers. Got it outside. She's guarded out there by Arnett. Back out front to Watrick. Now passes the left side to Doherty. Bounce pass into Coombs. She's guarded there by Ginnivan. Coombs tries to put the shot up, and she's fouled by, I believe, Hogard. We'll see.
You know, normally you like to see the team pass around the ball quite a bit, but the old adage, one too many passes, is applying tonight. And it's nice to see Katie Coombs actually try to make a move to the basket with that ball. Yeah,
tried to get it inside. Katie made a nice move, finally drew the foul there. 15 foul on Frontenac, first on Hogard.
I thought that was going to be a shooting foul.
I did too. I thought she was shooting, but they didn't call it that way. So inbounds play, it comes into Doherty on the left side. She throws it over to Struthers down low. She's double teamed out there. She brings it out, back out front to Carter. Carter going to swing it to the right side to Watrick. Watrick brings it back to the top of the key, picks up her dribble, throws it to the right side to Doherty. Now Doherty to the top of the key, looking underneath for Coombs at the elbow. Coombs bumped from behind, no call. She takes a dribble, step toward the basket, puts up the shot off the front of the rim, short. Rebound Frontenac as Ginnivan brings it down the floor for Frontenac. Makes the pass inside to Forrest. She puts up a shot, no good. St. Paul rebounds the ball. Yeah, got numbers on him. Carter coming down. She pulls up for the jump shot, and it's good. Gets it to go. Finally some points, some offense there by the Indians. 21-17, cut the lead to 4 with 1:38 left here in the third quarter. Frontenac with the ball now, tries to pass it underneath. It's almost deflected by Watrick, but Hogard came up with it, tried to put up the shot. It rolled off the top of the backboard, so St. Paul get the ball back.
We were lucky not to get flagged with a foul.
Yeah,
on
that was
one, too.
One that could have been called, but wasn't, so we'll take it. As everyone's back down now, as St. Paul brings the ball down the floor. Frontenac backed off from that pressure that they put on in the first half. They're back down in a 2-3 zone defense. Toss into Carter at the free throw line, kicks it out to Doherty, down low on the right side, now out front to Watrick. Quickly around to Bradshaw on the left, nothing there, back to Watrick. Feed into Coombs. Coombs can't get a handle with turnover. Frontenac comes up with it as they bring the ball back down the floor. Pass around to the right side to Ginnivan, fakes the shot, and then drives the lane, puts up the shot, and it's rolling around, falls out, no good, but she's fouled.
That was everything but
it was used the whole rim except the inside. She was fouled there by Watrick, so she'll go to the line to shoot two. That's
third on Watrick.
Third, I was going to say second or third. I think it's the third on Watrick. They don't have it on the board yet, but Ginnivan's first shot's up and through there. 22-17 your score. Might have got a break there. They called that on. They put it on the board as against Katie Carter. So will take that too. Carter's second foul, team foul number 2 for the Indians. Ginnivan's second shot's up, also good. 23-17, 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Indians basketball as they drive down the floor. Out front with Bradshaw's got it. Left side to Carter, out front to Watrick. Watrick throws the right side now to Coombs outside the three-point line. Slow pass, almost picked off there. Watrick pulls up short of the free throw line, banks one in for 2 with 42 seconds left, 23-19 as Frontenac with the basketball. 38 seconds left now in the third period. Frontenac's basketball. They try to, got a quick give and go underneath there, left unguarded was Fields, and she took advantage. 25-19 as the Indians come back with 25 seconds. Going to try and get the last shot here. Coombs got it at the free throw line. Kicks out to Watrick on the left side. Long three-pointer by Watrick. No good off the back of the rim. No one there for the rebound except Frontenac as Ginnivan comes down with it. So Frontenac going to shoot for the last shot. She bumps into Bradshaw. Kicks it the right side to Hipfel. Puts up the three-pointer. No good. Coombs has got it. Watrick bringing it down. Running out of time. She's going to be too late to get the shot.
Oh,
she did get it off, but it was no good. She put up kind of the long layup and got it a little bit too hard and bounced off the rim. So into the third quarter, 25-19 in favor of the Lady Raiders. We'll be back after 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back, Billy Fager Fieldhouse. We're just starting the fourth quarter now. The Lady Indians trail. The Lady Raiders of Frontenac 25-19. And the Indians with the ball now. And they turn it over again as their first possession of the quarter. And Frontenac with a fast break down the floor. Shot put up by Arnett on the fast break is good. 27-19 is your score. Watrick bringing the ball down the floor. She's tripped at midcourt by Butcher, I believe. And it is. So that'll be team foul number 6 on the Lady Raiders. Third foul on Butcher as the Indians inbound the ball from the far side. Indians going left to right now. Fourth quarter, 7:31 left. Swing around low to Bradshaw. She drives the baseline, tries to put up the shot, gets it to go.
Nice shot.
Nice shot by Bradshaw in traffic. Thought she might even draw a foul, but she didn't. 27-21. Raiders basketball. They bring it up the floor now. Running kind of a weave-type offense. Pass out front to Hipfel. She drives the right side of the lane, kicks it out the right side to her sister, who puts up the long shot, but it's off, and Watrick comes up with it. 2-on-1 now. The advantage Indians is she passes it to Struthers, who puts up the shot, gets about knocked down, and there's no call.
Wow.
No call on that one, but she was almost knocked to the floor, and he was right there, but didn't make the call, so missed that one. Inbounds play, gets it to Doherty on the right side. Finally gets into Coombs underneath. She puts up the shot, gets it to go, and draws a foul. So nice play there by St. Paul coming back after the no call to get it fed into Katie Coombs. Put up a good shot under pressure, drew the foul, and got the shot to fall. So 27-23, 6:58 left, and Coombs going to the line for the bonus. Try to get the three-point play here. And the shot is up and right through there. So nice little run there by St. Paul, especially Katie Coombs, able to get that going underneath. They need more of that as they trail by 3 now here with 6:58 left, and have cut this lead to 3.
That's the problem tonight. That's her first points of the game.
Yeah, that's unusual. We don't usually see that out of Katie. Frontenac's got the ball now, guarded out front by Watrick. They swing it around to the left side, down low on the left side to Arnett. She'll drive towards the middle of the lane, put up the shot, and gets it to go. Boy, they just don't miss. 29-24 as Watrick brings the ball up the floor. It's knocked away there almost by Meyer at midcourt. Gets it to Coombs. Coombs going to put up a three now. Off the back of the rim, no good, no rebounding again. There was four Raiders down there, no Indians. Raiders with the ball, cross court, wide open underneath. Jeez. Frontenac coach called a timeout. Frontenac coach called a timeout and then a wide open shot. Missed out on 2 points there because Ginnivan was all by herself. And it's going to be a 30-second timeout. Let's stay here, Keith, and talk for a second because that was one where, boy, I think about the time he said timeout, looked back, he saw Ginnivan all by herself and said, wait a minute, that changed my mind.
Well, you know, it's one thing, if they get a wide open shot, they take advantage of it, and they just don't miss. And St. Paul can't get theirs to fall.
Yeah, they just can't make a shot, and they're getting some shots here in the second half. And, you know, when they're not turning it over, they're getting some shots. Still struggling with the turnovers, though. They're going to have to fix that for sure, but they've been able to stay close enough to give themselves a chance in this game. And like you said, free throws, we always talk about how important those free throws are, and they are no different in this game. Many times that they've been to the line and really haven't been able to get any free throws, or they'd probably have a lead. So Frontenac inbounds the ball now, leading 29-24. They'll have it as Meyer drives to the left side of the lane, puts up the shot, and draws a foul. Shot's good. She draws a foul, and the foul is on. Who's that foul on? Is that on Hutcherson or Doherty?
Denise Doherty.
On Doherty. Be Doherty's first foul. Myers' bonus shots up and through there. Extend that lead that quick, 32-24, 6:13 left in the game. St. Paul's got the ball now. Full court pressure again by Frontenac, and they pays off as they get a turnover on another bad pass. Pass down the floor, back out front to Ginnivan, who puts up the three-pointer, bang.
Wow.
Boy, Ginnivan got hot. That was a quick 7-point turnaround right there and extended that lead. What was, at one time, a 3-point lead, now been extended to 9. Well, check that, 11 now. 11-point lead by the Raiders. So, boy, I don't know, 30-second timeout. We'll stay here again, and we'll take a long break next time, Keith. But, yeah, that was really, you know, a quick exchange, and just that quick, they've extended that lead and really put the pressure on the Indians now.
Well, I noticed when they went to that zone, St. Paul caught back up.
Yeah.
They went back to that full court pressure, like within a minute. St. Paul can't seem to right themselves and give the ball away, and just like that, Frontenac's back on top. By
that
11.
Seems like what the problem is. You know, St. Paul does pretty good as long as they don't have the pressure on them, but they put that full court pressure and they move out of that zone, and boy, it's a different ball game offensively for sure. That's where they went back to throwing bad passes and not being able to get anything done. So we'll try it again here.
Another thing, St. Paul will play defense 99% of the time, but when you don't have that 1% lapse, Frontenac, oh gosh.
Yeah, well, coming out of the timeout, St. Paul with the ball, they had to go the length of the floor. Watrick brought it in and got it. She tried to make a long cross-court pass again, and it threw it over the head of Struthers, lost it out of bounds. Turnover on St. Paul. The Raiders getting the basketball back. Oh, lucky call. Well, a call there went the Indians' way. That was Abby Butcher called with carry at the midcourt. So the Indians will get another chance after that turnover to make amends without getting any damage done, as they've got the ball now on their own end of the floor. Bradshaw with it on the right side. She's looking around underneath. Now kicks it out to Watrick on the left side. Back to Doherty, who's come out on the right wing. Goes around the top of the key. Oh, throws a pass that's knocked away. Turnover by St. Paul. Fast break to Ginnivan. Feeds it off underneath to Meyer. Puts up a shot, no good. Frontenac gets a rebound, puts a follow-up shot, no good. And Doherty comes out with it. Struthers all by herself at the other end of the floor. Puts up the layup, good. So St. Paul with a little action there, 35-26, 5:07 left. Frontenac quickly down the floor with it. They're going to slow down now and eat up some clock. 5 minutes left to go in the game as Frontenac with the basketball and the lead. Abby Butcher's got it. She's fouled out front there by Watrick. Frontenac doing what they need to do to try and get the clock running. They drew that foul. That'll be the 4th team foul on St. Paul, 3rd foul on Watrick. The Raiders will inbounds the ball from near midcourt. Ginnivan looking, throws it into Butcher. Back out front now to Arnett over the right side. Now back to Ginnivan with the three-pointer, and it's in there. Ginnivan's hot from outside. They're going to have to get some pressure, get a hand in her face, get her shut down. St. Paul with the inbound play. They drop the ball, rolls across the floor, turnover. St. Paul put back quick by Butcher. So another 7-point run by the Lady Raiders and really knocking this one out of range for the Indians as they lead 40-26. Coach Tuck going to call a full timeout. We'll take a break, 1-minute timeout. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Back at St. Paul where we're 4:20 left. St. Paul with the ball as they bring it down the floor. Frontenac fans wanted a travel, didn't get the call. St. Paul tried to move it underneath and get tied up for the jump ball. Keep possession. The arrow change over to Frontenac. Inbounds play to Bradshaw on the left wing. Down low now to Watrick. She's going to put up the three from the left side right through there. Bang. Watrick trying to do what she can. Now she's got pressure on Frontenac as they bring down the ball. She makes the steal, and she puts up the layup. There's two more. 5 quick points by Watrick, and she's still on them. Down there playing everything she can on defense and doing a good job of it. Oh, and another steal by Watrick. Saves the ball in bounds, but it goes right to the Raiders. Shot from the free throw line there by Arnett. Man, Taylor Watrick was just on fire right out of that timeout.
I wonder what Raiders' shooting percentage is in the second half. I don't think they've missed a shot
yet. Missed many. There's a bump. There's a bump as Watrick brings the ball up the floor. She's bumped from behind by Arnett. That's going to be, I thought it was Arnett. Called it on Butcher. Arnett was the one that was out there. So 8th team foul. That'll send Watrick to the free throw line with her 5 quick points out of the timeout. Now the opportunity for a couple more if she can make the free throws. 4th foul on Butcher. Watrick going to go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. First shot's up and through there. 6 points now quickly by Watrick. Trying to do what she can to cut that lead. It's lead down to 10 now, 42-32. 3:41 left to go in the game. The Indians going to have to fight their way out of this one and do it in a hurry. Watrick's second shot now is up and through there. So
Watrick could have had this game in the first half.
Oh, yeah, she could have played like this in the first half. It'd be a different story. So good job, Taylor. She's going to take a little break, come to the bench, and take a breather. Well-deserved. Inbounds play. Frontenac's got it. Ginnivan brings the ball up the floor. They're going to slow things down now, try to burn some clock. Ginnivan's got it out front. No pressure. Struthers now finally comes out, puts a little bit of pressure on her. Still got some distance. There it is. Pass over to Hiffel. Back to Ginnivan. Now over to Fields. Fields got it out front. Passes around the right side to Arnett. Cross-court pass to Ginnivan. Out front now to Fields. She puts up the three-pointer off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound Claire Bradshaw. Bradshaw hurrying down the floor. Going to pull up the free throw line. Puts up the shot off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound Frontenac. 3 minutes left in the game. 42-33 is the score in favor of the Raiders. Raiders basketball. Ginnivan's got it now on the left side. Slowing things down. Guarded by Struthers. Pass down low and feeds it into the lane. Tried to get the pass in there to Arnett, but she was fouled by Doherty as she turned around to go for the shot.
You know, in that third quarter, Frontenac only scored 6 points.
See, that's, yeah.
St. Paul scored 9.
Turnovers really were the story of the third quarter, especially. So.
And in this fourth quarter, I think they've doubled their score.
Yeah. Inbounds play now. Frontenac gets it inbounds. That's Arnett with it out front. Watrick back in the game for the Indians, and she knocks the ball away. Almost gets another steal. Boy, she's just playing as aggressive as she can play out there, trying to make things happen. She needs to get a little help. They could all get that going the same direction. Well, that'd be really something to watch as they wind the game down. Inbounds play now by the Raiders. Watrick again guarding Fields out there. Frontenac fans wanting the reach call. They're not going to get it yet. Watrick moving her feet. Finally, they get the call there on Watrick as she stuck her hand in. And might have been a sympathy call, but I think it's going to be the third on Watrick. Fourth on Watrick. Fourth foul on Watrick with 2:33 left in the game. 42-33 is your score. Frontenac with the ball. That's 16 foul on the Indians. Frontenac, Ginneman trying to inbound the ball. Timeout, Frontenac. It's going to be a, let's see, going to be a 30-second timeout. So we'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul Indian basketball on Hot 105. St. Paul trying to fight their way back into this one. 42-33 is your score in favor of the Raiders. The Raiders basketball, they bring it inbounds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. The Raiders moving the ball around. Ginneman with it now out front. Bradshaw, light pressure. Passes over, long pass over on the left side. Goes to Arnett, and she's fouled out there. Fouled by Gaiman, Ashlyn Gaiman in the game now for the Indians. Watrick ready to check back in with 4 fouls. Arnett going to go to the line and shoot the first of a 1-and-1 now as Frontenac now in the bonus with 2:21 left in the ball game. So Watrick, Carter, Bradshaw, Doherty, and Coombs in the game for the Indians. Arnett's first shot's up and through there. 43-33, 10-point lead for the Lady Raiders. 2:21 left. Second shot up and also through there. 44, 11-point lead now for the Raiders as Watrick comes down with it. Watrick looks to clear out the middle. Now she's passed to Coombs on the right side outside the 3-point line. Coombs tries to dribble around the baseline. Goes around Ginnevan and draws a foul. It'll be a foul on Ginnevan. That'll be the 9th team foul for the Raiders. And Coombs will get to go to the line and shoot one. 4th foul on Ginnevan. 2:11 left here in the ball game. Coombs' first shot is up and through there. So Katie warming up maybe at the free throw line, we hope. 10-point lead now by on the part of the Raiders. 44-34. 2:11 left. Coombs' second shot's up and it's also good. Hopefully it's not going to be too little too late, but the Lady Indians starting to heat up, getting some shots to fall at least here in the 4th quarter. As the Raiders take possession of the ball, get ready to throw the ball inbounds. Coach Tuck begging for Struthers to come in and put some pressure on as they full court pressure now by the Indians. It's Carter's guarding it's 3-on-2 out there. The Raiders break the press. Oh, they traveled, but they didn't call it. Myers got it out front now. Guarded by Carter. Stolen by Watrick. Well, Myers didn't even know she was there. Watrick picked her pocket, comes the length of the floor. Didn't get the foul called on the layup. Could have gone, I guess, I don't know if it was ball or not, but Myers was right on her. Knocked the ball out of bounds. So St. Paul maintained possession, but they didn't get the foul called on that layup. Watrick, after the steal, she's going to inbounds the ball, gets it to Bradshaw, out to Carter, back to Bradshaw, or to Watrick rather, on the right side, puts up the 3, no good. Frontenac comes down with it. They're going to slow down again as they come across midcourt. Ginnevan's got it out front, guarded out there by Carter. Looking him over, Carter just finally stepping out, putting some pressure on. Pass it over to Fields. Fields dumps it off to Hipfel. And now to Arnett, they're going to run a weave out front, just eat up time, make them foul him. As Bradshaw finally fouls Ginnevan out front. So that'll be foul on St. Paul. That'll be their 8th team foul, and Ginnevan is going to go to the line for the 1-and-1. 3rd foul on Claire Bradshaw. 1:26 left, 44-35 is your score. Ginnevan lines up, takes a look for her first. Shots up, rolls in, and falls through there. So 45-35, 10-point lead now for the Raiders. Well, she got the roll on that one, and she lines up to look for her second of the 1-and-1. It's up and right through there.
I think the gym is tilted
It
towards
must be tilted towards Frontenac. Yeah, that's right. 46-35, 122 left. Indians have the ball. Gaiman's got it on the left side. Kicks it down to Katie Carter. Long three-pointer. Draws nothing but air. Nobody under for the rebound. Ginneman's got it. She'll walk the ball up. Guarded out front at midcourt by Carter. Almost lose a handle on it. Hiffel comes up with it. She hands it off to Fields, who hands it off to Arnett. They're running that weave out front now. They're going to have to do something. Somebody's going to have to foul them or surrender. 57 seconds left in the game. Finally, Bradshaw steps in there and fouls Reagan Hiffel with 54.9 left in this one. St. Paul trailing 46-35, and Hiffel at the free throw line to shoot the 1-and-1. 9 team fouls apiece. Hiffel's first shot's up. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound, Doherty. Bradshaw's got it now, bringing it across midcourt. St. Paul going to have to hurry. Struthers got it. Dribble, yeah, going to have to pop the shot. Try to get it to Carter out on the left side. Too late. It was open, but now it's not. Gaiman's got it now out the top of the key. 36 seconds left as Bradshaw's got it. Dribbles up for the short two-pointer. Puts it up off the front of the rim. No good. No rebounding. Again, as Frontenac comes down with it, and they'll eat up the rest of the clock as much as they can out front. Gaiman comes up, tries to foul, but doesn't. Passed around front now. No pressure out there on Fields by Gaiman as they're going to run the clock out. 14 seconds left by Frontenac as Ginneman's got it now out front. Carter comes out, put token pressure on her. Frontenac's got the ball now as Gaiman guarding Fields. Fields just going to dribble around with it near midcourt.
Hit him with a ball back.
That's going to be the ball game. Tough loss tonight for the Lady Indians. Couldn't get it going on offense or defense really throughout the whole game. A little flurry at the end, but they lose this one 46-35 to the Lady Raiders from Frontenac. We'll be back with the KW Trucking postgame show in 2 minutes. You're listening to St. Paul Indian basketball on Hot 105. Well, welcome back. We'll take a break here in a minute where this one was a tough one for the Lady Indians as they come out of here on the short end of the ball game against Frontenac, who came in here ready to play. And Keith, you know, the Indians just could never get anything going in that one. Never really were in it other than about a couple minutes there where they were trailing by about 4 or 5 points, and then it got away from them.
Well, they just didn't look inspired. And I mean, the girls played a good game. They hustled on defense. They did have, allow some open shots that they shouldn't have, but they just didn't look inspired tonight, unfortunately. And you'll have games like that, but it seems like it's getting more like that and less like the Indian ladies we've seen in the past. I really thought they were going to make a strong run toward the state tournament. And right now, if they don't step their game up, I don't see them getting out of sub-state.
Yeah, they're going to have to really make some changes in a positive way because they've made some progress, but it's been one of those 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or however that saying goes. They've looked pretty good at times, but then there's other times like tonight where you can really see that some of that youth, I think, and inexperience starts to show through at the varsity level, especially when you match up against a team like Frontenac, who's a good team. However, I think they're a team that we probably could have beat. I don't think that was a game that the Indians had to lose. I think it was just the fact that they were turning the ball over and couldn't make any shots and just didn't play nearly as well as they're capable of playing.
Well, hats off to Frontenac. They scored 21 points in that 4th quarter.
Yeah, well, they really went on a tear,
They scored 25 up through the 3rd quarter. So,
you're listening to the KW Trucking postgame show. We'll be back in 2 minutes and talk about some of the end of the ladies' game stats and get you ready for the Ritchie's Pharmacy pregame show for the boys. But first, this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul Indian basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where we are in the KW Trucking postgame show after a tough loss by the Lady Indians to the Frontenac Raiders by the score of 46-35. Lady Indians came out in the second half. We thought maybe we'd see some adjustments, and probably would have, other than the fact that they couldn't quit turning the ball over, and once they did get a shot, couldn't get it to fall. However, a nice fourth quarter, 1 out of 4. Not bad, but not good enough to win a ball game, as they scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, which is more than they scored in the whole first half. So pick things up as much as they could. It just wasn't enough against a good Frontenac Lady Raiders team. Taylor Wattrick led the Indians with 15 points, most of those coming in that fourth quarter, where she really went on a tear and hit a 3 and then hit a 2 and drew the foul, was able to convert on the free throw, then got 2 more free throws. So Taylor putting on a show in the fourth quarter is too little too late offensively, though. Couldn't get any help from any of the other Lady Indians really to speak of. Emily Hutcherson had 6 points for the Indians. Katie Coombs with only 5, held to 5 points tonight by tough defense by the Lady Raiders. Katie Carter and Emerald Struthers both had 4, and Claire Bradshaw with 2 points tonight for the Lady Indians. Percentage-wise, Indians only shot 33% from the field, not nearly good enough to give yourself a chance to win a ball game. They were 13 of 39 overall, 11 of 27 inside the 2-point range, 2 of 12 from outside the 3-point line. Only shot 16% on 3-pointers, so not nearly what you want to see or going to need to see as we move into the heart of this league play. Things are going to have to change in a good way for the Indians, and will have to really pick up their game and start making some things happen as they move forward. Overall free throw percentage, 47%. They were 8 of 17. Got to get the free throws to fall as well, but the free throws weren't any different than any of the other baskets that they tried to put up. They just weren't falling in for the Indians. On the other hand, the Raiders from Frontenac, a lot of credit to them. They're good shooters, both from inside and outside, and also from the free throw line. Played really good defense. That full court pressure that they put on the Indians was a lot for them to handle and really caused them some problems, and that was what resulted in a lot of their turnovers. So by all means, a lot of credit go to the Raiders. Played a good game, and they just flat out, there's no two ways around it. They just played better tonight and beat the Lady Indians. So with that, I'll talk a minute about the turnovers, because that was really the biggest part, one of the biggest parts of the problem, other than the shooting for the Indians. If I get my stat sheet back up here, I'll give you a rundown on the turnovers for the Indians. Overall, they ended up with 23 turnovers for the game. So that in addition to the rest of the problems they had, just not enough. So you're listening to the KW Trucking postgame show here. We're going to get ready for the boys to play. About 9 minutes to go here for the boys game. So we're going to take a little bit of an extended timeout and come back. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout, and we'll be back with the Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. Get ready for the boys. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. 3 minutes. Hello? You hear me now? I'm still not hearing anything from you. See if you can get the music on the air that I can hear. I got nothing yet. Okay, try again. Are you there? I had the headset off. Got 1:30 left in the break here. If you can hear me. I sent you a text.
Tonight's second contest between the Raiders of Frontenac High School and our own St. Paul Indians.
Okay, we're getting ready to do lineups. So if you can get me on the air, go ahead and get me on the air. I'm going to go ahead and talk, and then you can send me a text to let me know what's going on. So. Welcome, everybody, back to St. Paul High School. Having some technical difficulties. Those of you listen to us on the live stream, hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. And if you hear some other things going on, that's me trying to get things situated back in the studio. But regardless, one way or the other, we'll have the live stream hopefully up and running, and you'll be able to enjoy the game here on the boys' side, as we'll see if we can get things on the radio working as well. Getting ready for the introductions here for the boys' game. The Ritchie Pharmacy pregame show going to be a little bit shorter than what I've intended, but we'll use the introductions as the Ritchie Pharmacy pregame show. I want to thank them for sponsoring, as well as Farmers Bank sponsoring both games for the Indians tonight. For the Frontenac Raider boys, number 0, Blaine Baldwin, 6'2", senior, gets the start. Also number 5, Cooper Cleland, 6'1", senior. For the Indians, Caleb Lemons back in the game tonight. He was absent on Tuesday, rather. could have used his help in a tough loss against Pleasanton. Adam Albertini also going to get the start for the Indians. For the Raiders, number 15, Jake Beckman. He's a 6-foot junior. And for St. Paul, the junior Easton Dent getting the start tonight for the Indians. For Frontenac, number 33 is Hayden Pyle. Pyle is a 5-foot. Check that. I don't see Pyle on their roster, so I have to check on that for you. Rounding out the Raiders is number 44, Noah Brooks. Brooks, a big man for the Raiders, 6'7", senior. He'll be matched up with Chandler Bradshaw and Kenny Haney. Haney for the Indians is listed at 6'2". Chandler Bradshaw listed at 6'1", as well as Chase Bradshaw. So height advantage goes to the Raiders with the 6'7" Brooks for Frontenac, as number 33, Hayden Pyle, rounds out Frontenac's lineup. He's a 6'4", 6'4" junior at 11 there listed for the juniors. So you've got Pyle, Brooks, Cleland, Baldwin, and who else for Frontenac? Beckman, number 15. So there's the jump. Haney comes down with it. St. Paul control the tip as Albertini brings it down the floor. We'll see if St. Paul can get things squared away after a tough loss against Pleasanton. Okay, I got you back now. Bradshaw puts the shot up, misses for the Indians. Welcome, everybody. Billy Fager Fieldhouse just joining us on the radio. Apologize, had some technical problems there. Hopefully we got them back on. If you're still with us on the live feed, we appreciate you sticking around. Just underway here as the Indians and the Raiders boys tip it off. The Indians took possession of the tip. Chandler Bradshaw put up a shot, but couldn't get it to go. Frontenac followed up quickly on their own end of the floor with a bucket, so they lead 2-0. 7:12 left, just underway here in St. Paul, where the boys of St. Paul match up against the boys of Frontenac. Hopefully they'll have a little better result than what the ladies did, where they lost a tough one to the Lady Raiders. So the Indians, Lemons back in the game for St. Paul tonight. He was absent on Tuesday. Dent puts up a shot from outside the left side, and it goes over the rim, no good. Frontenac comes back with it. Long shot from the right side, or left side now by Frontenac, by Beckman, also off, so nobody able to get anything started here as Haney gets it going for St. Paul, though, with banging in the three-pointer from the right side to kick off offensive side for St. Paul. St. Paul leads 3-2, 6:32 left with Frontenac coming down. They turn it over as Chandler Bradshaw steals it from Frontenac, brings it down the floor. Albertini's got it now on the right side. We get settled in here, try to get things organized and going. Albertini drives the right side of the lane, puts up the shot. It's blocked in there by Brooks, the 6'7" senior. Frontenac brings it back down the floor into the lane is Baldwin. He loses the handle, kicks it back out front now. Quick pass underneath intended for Pyle, but it's knocked out of bounds by Caleb Lemons. Keith had a little technical problem there during the break, and so we had to make some adjustments, get things rolling, but hopefully we're back rolling again. So inbound play from Frontenac to Pyle. Check that. Brooks, the 6'7" senior, he puts up a shot, gets his own rebound. The follow-up shot is no good, but he's fouled. First foul of the ball game, and that's going to be on Kenny Haney. Haney's first for St. Paul, and Brooks will go to the line. So Frontenac with some size with Brooks in there at 6'7". First free throw is up and off the rim, no good. He'll get another shot at it as he gets ready for his second, and it is up and it goes in there. Tied at 3, 6:01 left as St. Paul coming with the basketball. Haney's got it, bringing up the floor. Haney dribbles around to the right wing now. Hands it off to Albertini. Albertini feeds it down low to Chandler Bradshaw on the right side. Bradshaw dribbles back around towards the top of the key. Tries to feed to Albertini, cutting into the lane, but throws it away instead. Turnover on St. Paul. Frontenac quickly down the floor with it. That is Pyle. Makes the spin move, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound Bradshaw. Bradshaw bringing the ball up the floor now. Top of the key for St. Paul. Hands it off to Albertini. Albertini on the right side makes a spin move over to Lemons. Lemons drives to the baseline, but it's knocked out of his hands by Brooks. Just came right over the top and took the ball away from him. So another turnover for the Indians. Hopefully their turnover problems won't be as bad as the girls, but it's not starting out that way. As Frontenac brings it back down, boy, they got it inside again to Brooks. He tries to put up the shot. Lemons knocked it away, and Brooks dribbled it, bounced it out of bounds. So turnover on Frontenac. Good defense there by Caleb Lemons, knocking the ball away. And it's going to be a timeout, St. Paul, as Coach Watrick going to try and see what he can do to give a little advice here to the Indians. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll take one. 30 seconds. We'll be back. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Back here at Billy Fager Fieldhouse, Indians come out of the timeout with the ball. Albertini puts up the shot from the right elbow. It's off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Frontenac. They bring the ball quickly down the floor now as Pyle drives to the left side of the lane, kicks it out on low on the left side. It comes back out front now to Cleland as he sets up the offense for Frontenac. Down low to Baldwin on the left side, out front to number 44, Brooks. He takes the shot from the free throw line. It's no good. Albertini races the end of the floor. Tries to put up the layup too hard, no good. Rebound Frontenac. They come back down on a fast break of their own. That's Cleland, and he puts up the shot, no good. He's guarded there by Lemons. Now it's kicked out front. Long three-pointer put up by Beckman off the back of the rim. Haney passes it down the floor to Lemons on the fast break. Lemon pulls up for the 10-footer. It's good. 5-3 in favor of St. Paul. 4:02 left in the first quarter. Frontenac with the basketball. That's Pyle. Puts up the shot off the backboard. Rolls out, no good. Rebound, Haney. Haney with it. Drives to the free throw line. Dumps it off to Albertini on the left side. He loses the handle on it. It's picked up there by Pyle, and they fight over it. Pyle comes down with the easy layup. Rolls out, no good, but it's followed up by Baldwin, who puts it in. St. Paul not able to get anyone back to help. 5-5. Tied up here. 3:37 left in the first quarter. Lemons brings the ball up now, slows things down for the Indians. Kenny Haney's got it on the right side. Splits two defenders, passes off to Albertini. Now left side to Lemons, passes it into Haney. He's fouled from behind by Baldwin. Baldwin's first foul, team foul number 1 for Frontenac.
Yeah, St. Paul's hustling down the court. They're staying in this thing so far. They've able to hit that three and then just matching them pretty much.
There's another three-pointer put up by Easton Dent. It's off as St. Paul tries to get things going again. Fast break by Frontenac. They throw it deep into the corner. Pass out front now and slowing it down. There is a three-pointer put up by Brooks. Brooks is going to be a threat inside and outside, it looks like, as Frontenac jumps out to an 8-5 lead. Adam Albertini with it now at midcourt. Pass it over to Lemons. He dribbles around the defender, kicks it to Dent at the free throw line. Out to Albertini. Now down low to Chandler Bradshaw. He puts up the shot over Brooks. No good. Brooks with the rebound. Frontenac brings the ball down the floor, kicks it out the left side to McCartney. McCartney feeds it into the free throw line. Nobody guarding Beckman, and he puts up the shot guarded by Dent near the basket. The shot falls and foul on Dent. He'll get the bonus. So Dent needed a little help in there and didn't get it. First foul on Dent, second team foul on St. Paul. 10-5 now is your score with Beckman rather at the free throw line, and he converts on the bonus. 11-5, extending that lead as St. Paul in it now, not able to get anything to happen for him offensively. Lemons got it. He loses a handle on it out front. It's knocked into the back court, but he gets it back across to Albertini. Now to Haney, down low. Haney thought about the three again. Passed up front, lazy pass towards Lemons, and it's intercepted. Turnover, fed down there to Frontenac. They bring the ball down the floor, can't convert as Dick comes out with it. Fast break, Albertini one-on-one against Brooks. Boy, Albertini gave up a lot of size on Brooks, but he went right towards the basket and right at him and drew the foul. Frontenac coach didn't like it, but that's the way it was. Brooks was way over Albertini's head And Albertini went right at him and drew the foul.
He had body on him.
Yeah, it was a good job by Albertini to really get in there and be aggressive. So he'll go to the line and shoot two. 11-5 is the score, 2:47 left the first quarter. Albertini's first shot's up and off the back of the rim, no good.
Be nice to get Brooks in foul trouble.
Yeah, we could really, if they could get him shut down, he's really got size on everybody on the floor. Albertini's second shot up, dribbles around the backside, finally falls through there. 11-6 is your score. Frontenac with the ball now. As they bring it down, working around. Albertini almost gets the steal. They feed it underneath to Brooks. No, I take that back. It wasn't Brooks. That was number 13, Cale Franklin in the game. And he gets the bucket to fall. 13-6 is the score. Albertini's got it midcourt. Pass to Lemons. Almost threw it out of bounds. Back to Albertini now. Down low to Haney. He's going to put up another three, short this time off the front. Rebound Frontenac. Frontenac going to move it down the floor. Fast break to Franklin, who goes up for the shot. Haney quick to get down there, but he fouls him. Foul on Kenny Haney. That will be the third team foul on St. Paul, second on Kenny Haney. Frontenac got the basketball now. Frontenac's deep on the bench. Try and keep track of some subs here if I can, but I think they're going to get away from me. We'll see. Frontenac with the ball, throwing it inbounds now, works around the front side. Tries to feed underneath. Albertini didn't see it coming, and it bounces off of him, goes to McCartney, who puts it up and in there for two for Frontenac. 15-6. Yeah, bounced right
in
off
his hands, had a clear shot in the lane and put it up, no problem.
So the Indians try to get back in this one before it gets away from him. Chandler Bradshaw now with a three off the front, no good. Rebound Haney, but he loses the handle. Bradshaw comes up with it, almost. Instead, Frontenac comes out away with it, goes for the layup. That is Bridwell. Can't get it to fall. Frontenac gets the rebound, though, with Gunnar Hensley, and he's able to put it back for two. Timeout, Coach Watrick. So quickly, things have changed now from what was a close, tight game to a 17-6 lead by Frontenac. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Yeah, I got you now. Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Back at Billy Fager Fieldhouse, Indians got the ball coming out of the timeout. Albertini with a shot from the free throw line's up, no good. Dent gets the rebound though, kicks it out to Haney outside on the right wing. Haney puts a move on, goes towards the basket, puts up a shot, can't get it to go. Dent with the rebound, and the putback goes in, it's good, but he's on top of Haney and he draws a foul. Good play there offensively by Easton Dent to get two good rebounds, and then the putback, get the points on the board and gets to go for the bonus. So that foul is on number 20, Colin McCartney, the 6'2 freshman in there for Frontenac. Third team foul on Frontenac. 3 fouls apiece now on Indians and the Raiders, as Dent will go to the line to try to convert the three-point play. Dent steps in, puts a shot up, off the back of the rim, no good. Haney fights for the rebound, can't come up with it. Frontenac's got the ball now, bringing it down the floor. That's Baldwin with it, tries to feed it across the other side and does. Back out front now, drive towards Haney. It's a Euro step through there by Franklin. And he gets it to fall. 19-8 is your score, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Indians with the ball. Lemons has it on the right side, puts up the 10-footer. It's good. Lemons with a hot hand here, 19-10 in favor of the Raiders. Raiders with the basketball. They've got it out front now as McCartney feeds it underneath. Feeds it underneath to Franklin, who they calling for 3 seconds, I think. Calling for 3 seconds in the lane on the turnover. So Albertini bring the ball into Lemons. Under a minute to go, 38 seconds in the first quarter. Left on the clock as St. Paul brings the ball down the floor. Pass down low to Bradshaw on the left side. Cross court to Lemons. Lemons pulls up for that 10-footer again. It's short this time. Rebound Frontenac, 25 seconds left to go. They quickly come up the floor. That's Baldwin with it on the right side. He dribbles back around to the top of the key now. He'll set up the offense. 15 seconds to go. Out the left side to Hensley. Hensley back in front to McCartney. McCartney puts up the shot. It's good. It's a two-pointer. 22-10. 5 seconds to go here as Lemons brings the ball up the floor. Tries to get Albertini. Gets it to Albertini. Albertini gets it to go at the buzzer. Three-pointer out of Albertini with the three-point shot at the buzzer. So at the end of the first, 22-13, Frontenac leads St. Paul. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Yep, I got you. Nope, sounds like we're back rolling. Sounds good. That's okay. 29%. Not enough of them. Welcome back. Just underway in the second quarter here. Frontenac with the basketball right off the bat. That's Brooks with the three-pointer, extending that lead 25-13 now in favor of the Raiders. Coming out at the change of the quarter, we thought things might be looking around after Adam Albertini with the shot at the buzzer, the three-pointer. But Frontenac answers right back with Brooks right after the quarter started. There's Lemons driving the lane now, puts up the shot, doesn't get it to go, but Albertini rebounds and follows it up, and it's good. Adam Albertini starting to warm up for the Indians. 25-15 is your score. Frontenac now drives down low with the ball, kicks it back out front, cross-court pass now. Dent with the defense, and the foul on Dent. He was defending Pyle, who was in there trying to make the spin move on him, put up the shot, but Dent got his hand on the arm. So that'll be the fourth team foul on St. Paul, second on Dent. Pyle go to the line to shoot two. Pyle's first shot's up, off the back of the rim, no good. 25-15, 7:20 left here in the second quarter. Indians had some chances. Pyle's second shot up now, and it's through there. Extends the lead to 11. St. Paul had some chances to get themselves back in this game. Didn't shoot too bad, Keith, from what it looks like in the first half or the first quarter. Over 50% from the field. There just wasn't enough of them.
Raiders had just a little run right there before the end of the first quarter. Otherwise, St. Paul was staying right in there with them.
There's almost a turnover, and it is. Oh, Albertini gets it back and puts up the 10-footer. Rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound Frontenac. Almost turned it over, but Albertini was able to get the shot back put up there. Frontenac comes back down the floor, though, and quickly Cleveland puts up the three off the back of the rim, no good. Frontenac gets the rebound and then loses it underneath with Haney coming up with it. Turnover on the Raiders. Haney bringing the ball up the floor across midcourt. He's double-teamed out front, almost loses the handle at the top of the key, but gets it back to Albertini, who passes it. Tried to pass it to Lemons. I thought maybe it came off the Raiders, but it must have went off of Lemons down in the corner. The referee's going to talk about it, and it will go to Frontenac on the turnover. So Frontenac got the ball back. No points that time by the Indians. Frontenac brings the ball down the floor, and they are aggressive, playing aggressive offense. Feed underneath the Brooks, but he missed the ball and turned over to Haney. Feeds it ahead to Albertini, comes down with it. Back out to Haney now at the right wing, and down to Albertini with the three from down low, off the rim, no good. Rebound Frontenac. Frontenac bringing the ball up the floor. That is number 5, Cleveland, who's got it out front at the top of the key. Pass it over to Baldwin. Brooks with the post, or the pick, to set the screen. as Baldwin dribbled around and drew the foul as he went towards the lane for the layup. It's a nice move, but Haney and Lemons were both out there. The foul's going to be on Kenny Haney. That'll be the 5th team foul on the Indians, 3rd on Haney with 6 to go, 6 minutes, 11 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Baldwin's first shot up, bounces through there, 27 to 15. 6:11 to go. Haney will sit down with 3 fouls now, midway through the second quarter. Not even quite midway through the second quarter, so Kenny Haney going to have to be careful out there. Baldwin lines up for his second shot. Shot's up, and it's good. 28-15 is the score. You got Lemons, Albertini, Chandler Bradshaw, Easton Dent, Colin Carlson in the game now for the Indians. Pass down the floor. Bradshaw's got it on the right side. Back top to Albertini. Double team. Back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw pulls up for the just inside the three-point line. Is a two-point shot, but it was no good. And Frontenac with the rebound. Lemons bumped him with the body, though, right under his own basket. So first foul on Lemons, 16 foul now on St. Paul. Not a very good foul down there.
No, it's just a frustration foul,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Frontenac with it now. Throws it around the right side to Cleland. Back to Brooks, over left side to Baldwin. Baldwin looking underneath for Brooks, nobody there. Kicks it back out front to Franklin. He drives the lane, gets it taken away by Albertini, who's coming down the floor across midcourt. 1-on-3 in favor of the Raiders. They got back quickly. Passed over to Lemons, who tried to save it before it went out of bounds, but wasn't able to. Turnover on the Indians. Frontenac ball. Indians boys starting to have some turnover issues like the girls did. Hopefully that's not going to continue, but they can't keep it from bouncing off their hands out of bounds as the Raiders bring the ball back down the floor now. Baldwin's got it out front. Kicks it off the right side to McCartney. Now to Brooks for the three-pointer. It's short. Try to get the rebound. Albertini comes up with it and comes the length of the floor. Almost fouled there by Brooks on the layup. It's no good. Quick, fast break now to the other end of the floor. If Bridwell saves it before it goes out of bounds, pass inside to Franklin, who's able to convert. Boy, they just ran circles around the Indians. They didn't know which end of the floor to be at during that exchange. Yeah, so 30-15 is your score, 4:51 left. Be a timeout on the floor, officials timeout. See what we got going here. Officials called the timeout. Looks like maybe got some blood on his arm down there. Injury timeout maybe, but Raiders going to come out. He'll be replaced there by Cleland. That was Cale Bridwell coming off the floor for the Raiders. So St. Paul will have the ball. Hayden Smith now in the game for the Indians. He'll bring the ball into Lemons. Out front, Smith had a good game Tuesday night. Lemons throws the ball away. Turnover by the Indians. Almost a turnover. Frontenac caught it out of bounds. I didn't see him come down. He came out of bounds. Smith back into Lemons now. Lemons with it out front. Lemons around the right side. Oh, Lemons leaned into Franklin there. No call either way. Gets it out to Bradshaw now. Bradshaw coming around the front. Passes it to Colin Carlson, who knocks it off to Lemons. Tries to feed it underneath the Dent, but he's fouled by Brooks, who reached around going for the ball, but caught him on the arm for the foul. I think that's going to be 3 on Brooks. So no, it was just the second. I was hoping it was 3. Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It's the 4th team foul on Frontenac. 16 fouls on St. Paul. 2nd on Brooks. St. Paul ball underneath. Hayden Smith tries to throw it in. Gets it knocked away by Frontenac, and it's a turnover. Raiders come up with it as they bring the ball up the floor. That's Cleland with it at the top of the key. Throws it over to Baldwin. Baldwin guarded out there by Chandler Bradshaw. Screen set underneath by Franklin. They feed it to him. He kicks it back out front. Now over to Pyle. Pyle drives the lane, spin move, puts it up in the end. 32-15, 4 minutes left before halftime as Caleb Lemons walks the ball towards midcourt. Met out there by Baldwin. Lemons around the left side, gets double team, stepped out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds as he went towards the sideline trying to reverse his floor. So another turnover on the Indians. Indians can't get out of their own way right now. They need to settle down, get relaxed, and play like they can play. Raiders got the basketball now, bringing it up the floor is Baldwin. Left side now, pass around to the front is McCartney. McCartney passes it off now, feet underneath to Pyle, kicks it back out front to Cleland, puts up the 3, it's no good. Rebound Bradshaw, and he's got 3-on-1 now the Indians do as Bradshaw pulls up for the shot. There's a foul called. Going to count the basket and call the foul on McCartney as Bradshaw pulled up, made a nice shot, drew the foul, and gets the bucket and the bonus shot. So good job, Chandler Bradshaw. He had good help in there also by Colin Carlson, who set the screen for him. It's 32-17. Bradshaw with the bonus shot. It's up and in there. 32-18. 3.5 minutes left before halftime as Frontenac comes back down the floor with the ball. Pass to the right side now. Bradshaw putting pressure on out front. Pass down low on the right side to Cleland. Passes across court, now down low. That's Beckman who puts up the three. No good. Frontenac with the rebound. They put the follow-up shot. No good. That was put up there by Cleland. Couldn't get it to go. Lemons coming down the floor with it now. Feeds it off to Chandler Bradshaw with the 8-footer this time. And Bradshaw getting the hot hand now. It's good. 32-20. 3 minutes to go. Frontenac coming back up the floor now. Pass on over on the left side. That's Franklin. Hands it off in there to Pyle. Pyle drives the lane, tries to put up the shot. It gets partially knocked away by the Indians and goes out of bounds, so Frontenac will maintain possession underneath their own basket. Cleland's got it under his basket, looking to throw it in bounds. Passes it out front to Baldwin. Baldwin back down low to three-point shot put up there by Cleland, who got the ball back down low. It was off the back of the rim, and Lemons comes out with it. Lemons brings it across midcourt. He's double-teamed, but he dribbles out of the double team, goes towards the baseline, and into number 15, Beckman. Official called the foul on Beckman. So Lemons trying to make some things happen offensively and draws the foul. That's a 16 foul now on Frontenac, 6 fouls apiece. First team foul, or first individual foul on Jake Beckman. Indians have the ball now. Albertini bringing it in under his own basket. Pass into Easton Den out front. Hands it back to Albertini. Albertini looking for an inside opening. Instead goes left side to Lemons. He's got it now on the left wing. Feeds it inside to Carlson, but it's stripped away. Stripped away by Pyle as he drives the length of the floor, and he dumps it off on the way down to Beckman, but the Beckman's called for the foul. They lost it out of bounds. So good break there for the Indians. They'll maintain possession. Actually, there was no foul called. It was just lost out of bounds by Beckman. Albertini's got it now. Feeds it off left side to Bradshaw, who's thinking about the three. He's hot. Instead goes across court to Lemons, who's trying the three. Oh, rolls off the rim. Bradshaw fights for the rebound and almost comes away with it, but Frontenac gets their ball down the floor. It's fed out front to Cleland. He puts a spin move on the right side of the lane. The little short 8-footer is short, no good. Rebound Frontenac, though, got their own rebound. Beckman did with the follow-up, and it's good. 34-20 with 1:50 left in the first half. Albertini coming across midcourt now for the Indians. Tries to pass it over to Lemons. It's knocked away by Cleland out of bounds. St. Paul maintain possession at midcourt as Albertini goes to throw it in. Colin Carlson takes a seat. Chase Bradshaw checks into the game for the Indians. Albertini looking now to inbound the ball and have to get rid of it. Finally gets to Chandler Bradshaw out near midcourt. Not much pressure. Dent sets the screen. Chandler Bradshaw puts up the long three. It's off the back of the rim, no good, goes out of bounds. So Frontenac will take over, leading 34-20 with 1 minute and 34 seconds left here to go in the first half. Frontenac bringing the ball across midcourt now. Pass over to Beckman on the left side. Feeds it down low, now back out front to Pyle. Pyle feeds it right side now, back to Beckman, who puts up the three. It's off, no good. Rebound Bradshaw. Chase Bradshaw kicks it out to Albertini. Quickly brings it across midcourt, drives the lane, kicks it out to Lemons with a three. In and out, no good. Rebound Chandler Bradshaw, but it's knocked away out of his hands. Frontenac comes up with it, and they've got Pyle one-on-one against Chase Bradshaw. Pyle puts up the shot, doesn't get it to go, but draws the foul on Chase Bradshaw. Coming out of that exchange on the other end of the floor. First foul on Chase Bradshaw. That'll be team foul number 7. As Pyle will go to the line to shoot 2. Coach Watrick discussing with the official exactly what the rules are, and so it'll be clear. And the Pyle's first shot, meanwhile, goes in there. 35-20 is the score with just over a minute left. 1:02 to be exact, as Pyle's second shot's up, and it's through there. 36-20. 1 minute left to go in the first half. Indians have the ball. Albertini's bringing it across midcourt. Guarded out front there by Beckman. Feeds it off left side to Lemons on the wing. St. Paul looking for the offense to get set up. Lemons feeds it down low to Dent. Back out to Lemons. Up top now to Chandler Bradshaw. He's got it at the point. Feeds it to Chase Bradshaw on the wing on the right side. Looking underneath. He's got Lemons. Lemons puts up the shot. It's good.
Nice pass.
Nice pass and move there. 36-22. 30 seconds left to go before halftime. Frontenac with the ball now on their own end of the floor. They're weaving around out front with it. Down low to Cleland. He looks around underneath, feeds it back out top to Beckman. Guarded out there by Chandler Bradshaw. Beckman feeds it to the left side to Hensley. Hensley brings it back out front, looking for that last shot. Feed around the right side now is Cleland. Cleland back to Hensley. Over on the left side now, underneath the pile in the middle of the lane. It's knocked back out to Cleland. He puts up the 8-footer. It's no good at the buzzer. That'll take us to halftime, where St. Paul trails the Frontenac Raiders by the score of 36-22. We'll be back with the Labette Health halftime show. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Give us 2 minutes, please.
You know, look at these.
Oh, did you send it to me?
Okay.
I'll open it here. Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where here at halftime the boys of St. Paul trail Frontenac by the score of 36-22, and we're at the Labette Health halftime show, Keith. And first half by the Indians started out better than they have. We've had a problem with them starting out a little bit cold and rusty, but tonight they came out, were able to get some shots to fall, but then the wheels fell off a little bit and they kind of lost traction, and now here they are sitting at halftime with a 14-point deficit that they're going to have to overcome as they come out in the second half.
Yeah, well, it seems like the Indians, like say, first quarter they came out not shooting too bad. They hit 13 points. Second quarter they only scored 9, where Raider boys scored 21 in the first period and 15 in the second. So the defense stepped up a little bit in the second quarter.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say the defense did. You could see a difference when they started to, hustling a little bit more. I think more than anything, you just started to see some hustle on the part of the Indians.
Frontenac had a pretty high shooting percentage in that first quarter. I think they were 52%, something like that. Now they're down. I don't have theirs in front of me, but Frontenac down to 40%. Versus that 52% in that first quarter. So we're hoping that St. Paul's defense and not some cold shooting or some aberrant hot shooting in that first quarter.
Well, and there was a lot of cold shooting. Frontenac there for a while was on a hot streak and were really not missing anything, and that was the same time St. Paul on a cold streak and couldn't make anything. They got a couple three-pointers to fall, I think, that really helped out, but other than that, they weren't able to get anything to go in the basket and really struggled. But as the second quarter wore on, they started to warm up a little bit. Caleb Lemons came around there in the second and was able to contribute some, as well as Adam Albertini, and we'll talk about those stats here after the next break. But overall, not a bad first quarter. It was a lot better, or first half rather. It was a lot better first half than what we saw Tuesday night, I think.
Well, yeah, they had 33% shooting for the Indians, where they've been in the 20s before. And 33 is nothing to brag about. But,
right.
But gosh, after you're shooting 20, 22, 25%.
Count those little victories, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so. You're listening to the Labette Health Halftime Show here, where the St. Paul Indian boys trail Frontenac by the score of 36-22. About halfway through the halftime performance here, so we're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about individual stats and get ready for the second half. You're listening to St. Paul Indian basketball on Hot 105. Do what? Welcome back. Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where the Frontenac Raiders come to town tonight. The Lady Raiders were able to take care of the Indians in a tough one for the beginning. There in the nightcap, the Indian boys are trailing the Raider boys by the score of 36-22 as the teams come back out on the floor. Keith, what do first half stats look like individually?
Well, St. Paul for the game, for the first half was 9 of 27, 33% shooting. Of that, 41% shooting in the two-point field goal range, 7 of 17. And in 2 for 10 at the three-point field goals for 20%, and 2 for 4 from the free throw line at 50%. Leading scorer for the Indians was Albertini with 6, and Lemons was 6, and then you had Chandler Bradshaw with 5, Kenny Haney with 3, and Easton Dent with 2. Foul situation, you got Kenny Haney with 3 fouls on the bench, and he'll probably start out this second half. It'll be interesting to see how effective he is or what happens to him down low as they try to stay away from that. St. Paul had 8 rebounds, 4 offense, 4 defense rebound that we had recorded, and again 7 fouls in that first half. They had 6 turnovers in that first half, and Albertini with 2 of those, Lemons, Smith, and Haney and Bradshaw with 1 each that we had recorded. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's the story of the first half is shooting percentage again, and the Indians have struggled with that all season long, and really the struggles continue tonight. They're 7 of 17 in two-point range, and you got to feel like they need to feed the ball underneath and get some work done under there and get some of those high percentage shots to go. And if you get it under there, you've got to make them. The other place you've got to make them is at the free throw line. We've talked about that before too a lot, and until they can get that fixed, they're going to still struggle. But they still got a chance here, second half to come. So we'll take one more minute timeout and you're listening to the Labette Health halftime show and St. Paul Indian basketball, and we'll be back in 1 minute with the second half. And you're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Got tongue-tied there. Welcome back. Here we go. Second half just underway. St. Paul got the ball, trailing 36-22. As Albertini comes down the right side of the lane, tries to make the layup, dishes it off to Dent, who puts up the shot, and it's stripped away there. In timeout on the floor, one of the Raiders players apparently out of bounds on the bleachers on the far side on an injury. Nobody saw him. The coach did, and the coach was trying to get the referee's attention. Meanwhile, the game goes on. I don't know why they called the timeout, but he walked across the court. I didn't even know he was over there, and when they finally got the official's attention, he was already walking back on the floor. So hopefully he's not injured too badly, but it didn't look too bad. Couldn't tell for sure. We'll see, but regardless, see what they're going to do here. Looks like Frontenac's looking like they're going to bring the ball in after Dent missed the shot. Frontenac came up with the rebound, and they came down the floor, so they will at midcourt bring the ball in as we get underway again here and just start in the second half. Frontenac now with the ball wide open underneath is McCartney on the feed from Brooks, but Dent stepped over, Chandler Bradshaw stepped over just in time to go up as he went up for the shot, and Bradshaw committed the foul. That'll be his first team foul on the Indians in the second half, and McCartney will go to the line to shoot two. McCartney's first shot up, rolls off the rim and out, no good.
Frontenac was 8 for 10 in that first half from the free throw.
Yeah, they were hot at the line. McCartney's second shot now up and off the front of the rim, no good, but rebound by Frontenac. Cleveland puts his put back up, and it's good.
He's not a very tall kid.
No, but he really got the rebound, fought underneath there. 38-22 now is the score. Haney with the long three off the front of the rim, no good, but Dent fights for the rebound and did a good job holding on in there. He drew the foul. I think they're going to call that on Brooks, and they do. That'll be another foul on Brooks.
That should be
his third. Yeah, third foul on Brooks, first team foul on Frontenac. St. Paul with the ball, bringing it inbound underneath. Albertini tries to feed to Haney a little high, and Brooks right there, the taller 6'7" Brooks, able to take it away from Haney, which is unusual for Kenny Haney to have someone taller than him, but he's got it tonight. Frontenac with the ball now at their own end of the floor. That's Beckman, got it out front, looking underneath. Now feeds it to the left side to Baldwin. Baldwin pulls up the free throw line, then backs out. Tries to feed underneath to Brooks, but it's stolen away by Dent. Passing off to Albertini on the fast break. Albertini comes down, feeds it back to Dent in the middle of the lane with the 6-footer. It's good. 38-24 in favor of the Raiders. Raiders with the basketball. 3-point now by Brooks from outside. No good off the back of the rim, but it's rebounded and put up there by Beckman, but he's fouled by Lemons. I believe that's going to be Lemons' third foul. Second team foul on St. Paul, and Lemons' second personal foul. One foul on Frontenac. It was on the shot, so Beckman will shoot 2. First shot up's off the front of the rim, no good. As number 14, Bridwell, checks into the game for Baldwin for Frontenac. Beckman standing at the free throw line. Gets the ball now, ready to put up his second of 2. Missed the first one. The second one's up, and it's no good. Off the back of the rim, rebound Chandler Bradshaw. He'll bring the ball down the floor and almost lose it at half court. Pass it to Albertini, who drives to the middle of the lane at the free throw line, puts up a shot off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound Frontenac. Frontenac with it now, comes down the court quickly, feeds it left side to Bridwell, who just checked into the game. And Beckman drives the right side of the lane, puts up a shot, it's off. Rebound Dent, feeds it to Albertini. Albertini coming down court, feeds it to the right side to Lemons with the 3. It's good.
He was due. He was really
He was due. 38-27, favor of the Raiders. 6 minutes left here in the third quarter.
If St. Paul can get this down within 6 or 7 at the quarter and then work on it from there, maybe stay in this game and maybe take it home.
Yeah, keep it close and give themselves a chance, what they need to do. Boy, they left Brooks wide open underneath the basket, but he couldn't convert. He was all by himself on the backside, and they had the perfect chance to get him and couldn't. Coach Watts going to call timeout and settle him down, get it explained to what they're supposed to be doing. So we're going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Back underway here in St. Paul. Indians have the basketball, trailing 38-27. Lemons brings it down the floor, passes the left side to Chandler Bradshaw. He's guarded out there by Franklin. Bradshaw dribbling around, kicks it to Haney on the left side. He calls for Lemons to come up, keeps the ball, dribbles around, now feeds it to Lemons, who drives the lane, almost falls down, puts up a shot off the front of the rim, no good. Albertini comes up with it out front, so St. Paul get another chance. Albertini going to drive the lane and kick it out to Bradshaw now. They'll slow things down, try to set it up as Bradshaw comes out to the top of the key, gives off to Lemons on the left wing. He's guarded out front there by Cleland. Pass it to Albertini on the left side now. Albertini back to Lemons on the left wing. Lemons will bring it to the top of the key and they'll try again. Feed now the right side, this time to Chandler Bradshaw on the right wing. Dribbles back towards the top of the key, feeds it to Lemons, guarded out there by Cleland. Dent sets the screen. Lemons dribbles around towards the basket, puts up the layup. It's in and out, no good. They can't get the rebound. It goes out of bounds to Frontenac.
Lemons had almost a bunny there. I mean,
yep, had a good look. Got to make those.
A little bit out of control going to the basket, but he regained his composure and went up nice and should have made it.
Yeah, it should have been 2, but it wasn't. It's 38-27, 4:35 left in the third. Frontenac with the ball now, bringing it up court. Cleland passes off to the right side to Bridwell. Bridwell over to McCartney, who feeds it back to Cleland. Cleland feeds it over to Franklin. Now back out front to McCartney. McCartney gives it off to Bridwell, drives the lane, tries to put up the shot. It goes out of bounds as Haney, good defense by Kenny Haney not to draw the foul. I think he lost the ball going out of bounds. At Frontenac's going to maintain possession there. The basket feed, quick feed inside.
Oh.
Shot tried to be put up there by McCartney. And it was stuffed from behind. It was all ball. It went out of bounds on Frontenac. St. Paul's basketball under their own basket. Substitution now for Frontenac as Baldwin checks back into the game for Cleland. You've got Lemons, Albertini, Chandler Bradshaw, Kenny Haney, and Easton Dent on the floor for St. Paul.
St. Paul's had a couple opportunities here to close this gap a little bit. Had they scored on that last one, they'd had it under 10.
Yeah, they're trailing by 11 now with Lemons out front over the left side to Albertini. He's guarded out there by Hensley. Feed down to Easton Dent, who puts up the 3. It's off, no good. Rebound Frontenac. They'll bring the ball down. 2 on 3. That's Baldwin who goes up for the layup. And they're going to call him for the charge on Lemons. Took the charge. Well, they got a break, got the charge. Coach doesn't agree, but that's the call. on Baldwin.
The crowd didn't like it either.
Crowd didn't like it either, but that's a break for St. Paul. Now they need to convert, put points on the board after, when you get a break like that, you got to take advantage of it. Second foul on Baldwin, second team foul. The Indians with the ball now. Dent's got it on the left side. Running some offense now. I like to see that as they pass it to Albertini on the right wing. Bradshaw cuts across the lane, not there. Albertini drives the lane, kicks it out to Lemons, is all alone, puts up the three. No good. It was in and out off the backside of the rim. Frontenac comes up with the rebound. St. Paul needs to get some offensive boards going as well, get some follow-up putback shots, and that would help him as well. So Frontenac now with it. Out front is Bridwell. He passes off to Franklin, throws it down low to Baldwin. Baldwin on the left side, back out front to Hensley. Hensley backs out, back to the top of the key to set it up again. Left side now, pass to Baldwin. Guarded by Chandler Bradshaw. He dribbles around towards the free throw line, kicks it out the right side to McCartney. McCartney hands it off to Hensley, who passes it out front to Franklin. Patient offense here by the Raiders. They feed it underneath to Franklin. He puts up the shot, no good. Frontenac gets the rebound, but they're going to call a foul underneath the basket. Or he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that's what it
stepped
was.
out of bounds with it for the shot. So St. Paul maintain possession or get possession of the ball here. Get it in bounds.
4 straight possessions, Mike. If they convert on half of them, it's a it's a under 7-point game.
Got to convert when you get the chance. So Indians with the ball now. Try to feed it into Albertini from Bradshaw. He passes it back out, loses the handle on it. A turnover there, picked up by Franklin. Raiders get the turnover. Feed it down the floor quickly to Hensley in the right corner. Underneath was a good pass underneath of Franklin, and Dent tried to put defense on him but didn't draw the foul, and Hensley able to convert. Basket's good. 40-27, 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Frontenac leads 40-27. Lemons got it out front over the left side to Bradshaw. Bradshaw loses it for a minute, gets it back, feeds it to Haney out front. Haney looking around inside, nothing there, so he's driven to the left wing, maintaining his dribble out there, and he's double teamed. He splits the double team to the, he dribbled to the free throw line, tried to dribble behind his back, lost it. Frontenac with the easy layup there all by himself was Gunnar Hensley at the other end of the floor for the easy bucket for Frontenac. St. Paul got to settle themselves down now, not get too cute. 42-27, Frontenac leads. Lemons with it on the left wing. He's dribbling around, looks inside, fakes the drive, pulls back, gives it to Haney. Haney's tripped out there, no call. Steal by Frontenac, that's McCartney. Tries to feed it off to Franklin, who loses the handle on it, gets it back. Gives it back to McCartney at the free throw line. He'll put up the short shot there, and it goes. Frontenac can't miss. St. Paul can't make.
Nope.
The way it's going. 44-27, 58 seconds left here in the third quarter as Albertini sets it up again at midcourt for St. Paul. Albertini looking over the offense. Not much pressure so far by Frontenac. They don't need it. Haney pulls up for the three. It's no good, off, and Frontenac with the rebound. And once again, St. Paul one and done on their shooting. Not getting any offensive boards at all here in the second half. So Frontenac with the ball again now on their own end of the floor. Passes out front to Hensley. Feeds it off the right side to McCartney. Back out front to Franklin. Dumps it off to Baldwin. Drives the lane on Bradshaw. Dishes it to Bridwell. It wasn't ready for it as it went out of bounds, but it went off of St. Paul. Albertini was out there trying to play defense, and as Bridwell threw it back in, it went off Albertini back out of bounds, so Frontenac can maintain possession at their own end of the floor over on the opposite side. Kenny Haney checks out. Chase Bradshaw checks in for Haney. Frontenac inbounds the ball now to Franklin. 19 seconds left here before the end of the third quarter. Frontenac setting up for the last shot. 12 seconds left. As McCartney's got it now, feeds it off to Baldwin. Baldwin tries to dribble through the lane, loses the handle. Chase Bradshaw comes up with it. And he's fouled as he tried to dribble out, and actually Franklin fell down in front of him and tripped him, but got called for the foul. So that'll be the third team foul on Frontenac. First on Franklin. Chandler Bradshaw going to bring the ball inbounds for St. Paul. Gets it to Albertini. Comes across midcourt. Puts up the long shot at the buzzer. Oh, it's off the front of the rim. No good, but almost almost had another buzzer shot there by Adam Albertini, just couldn't get it to go. So the end of the third quarter, St. Paul trails Frontenac by the score of 44-27. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Yeah, I'm here. Do what? Oh, no, that's all right. No problem. Not getting any better.
That's what they're doing.
They're not doing great either. Back here in St. Paul, Billy Fager Fieldhouse, where the Indian boys trail Frontenac by a score of 44-27 as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Indians going to have to get some offense going to get back in this one. Frontenac starts the quarter out with the ball, moving it around. That is Franklin with it at the free throw line, kicks it off the left side to Bridwell. Bridwell looking for the opening underneath. Finally drives to the left elbow and feeds it off to Brooks. Brooks kicks it out to the left side to Gunnar Hensley. He puts up the three. It's off the front of the rim, no good. Albertini almost with the rebound. Couldn't get a handle on it. Brooks gets it underneath, back up, and he's fouled. Should be fouled under there. Going to be fouled under there by Caleb Lemons. That'll be the third foul on Lemons. Team foul number 4 on St. Paul. So St. Paul not near as many fouls this half as they had in the first, but coming at the wrong time. Brooks puts his first one up and through there. 45-27 is the score. 7:35 left in the ball game. Brooks lines up for the second. It's up and through there. 46-27. Indians bringing the ball in. Albertini passes it to Lemons at midcourt. Lemons takes off to go with the ball, and his feet went before the ball did, and he gets called for the travel. Turnover on St. Paul.
Well, I sure didn't see that.
I didn't either.
It was close, but I've seen some others on the other, both sides that were more egregious and not called.
Happens sometimes. Frontenac with the ball now. They bring it across midcourt, feed to the left side to Bridwell. Bridwell out front to Brooks. Brooks throws it around the right side to Hensley. Comes back out to the top of the key, gives it off to Franklin. Franklin feeds underneath to Brooks in the middle of the lane with a hook shot over Dent. It's good. 6'7" Brooks, Noah Brooks, having a good game for Frontenac as they extend their lead now, 48-27 with 7 minutes to go. St. Paul with the basketball. Albertini's got it out front, setting up the offense. Left side to Chase Bradshaw in the wing. Chandler Bradshaw cuts through the lane. He's not there. Almost stolen away from Chase. He finally puts up the three off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound Frontenac. Another one and done for St. Paul as they can't get a rebound on the offensive boards. Frontenac with the ball now at their own end of the floor. That's Franklin with it. Almost taken away by Albertini, but he keeps the control. Gets it out to Hensley. Hensley over to the right side now to Bridwell. Bridwell feeds to Franklin. Franklin drives the lane from the free throw line, loses the handle. Nobody sees it except McCartney, who picks it up for Frontenac, and then he loses the handle. Lemons tried to come out of there with it. He got tripped. So there's a foul on Frontenac. I believe it's going to be on McCartney, and it is. That'll be the fourth team foul on Frontenac, third on Colin McCartney. Frontenac substituting 3 now. Baldwin, Cleland, and Beckman check back into the game for Frontenac. For St. Paul, you've got Lemons, Albertini, both Bradshaws, and Easton Dent on the floor. Albertini's got it out front, feeds it to Chandler Bradshaw at the top of the key. Bradshaw slows it down now as they work around the offense, throws it to Chase Bradshaw on the right side. Bradshaw guarded out there by Baldwin. Lemons sets the screen. Bradshaw goes around the screen, feeds it back to Lemons on the wing. As Dent comes across, set the screen, feed across court to Bradshaw, throws it to Chandler Bradshaw down low, back out to Chase out front. Chase Bradshaw passes it to Dent, feeds it into Lemons inside the lane. Lemons puts it up and in there.
Nice feed.
Nice feed, nice move. Finally get some offense going there by St. Paul. 48-29 is the score. 5.5 left in this one. Frontenac with the ball. Feed it to Brooks out at the top of the key, guarded by Dent loosely. Feeds it left side to right side rather to Baldwin. Baldwin comes back around to the top of the key, gives off to Cleveland. Frontenac playing patient offense here. Beckman with it now on the left side, drives the middle of the lane between two St. Paul defenders, puts up the easy layup. Got to do a better job shutting it off in the middle of the lane. 50-29 with 5 to go.
And St. Paul just denied a drive to the lane right before that where two guys cut him off and didn't give that one up.
Yeah, then Caleb Lemons pulls up with the 9-footer from the middle of the lane near the free throw line, rolls off the back iron, and Frontenac rebounds, brings it back down. That's number 15, Jake Beckman. He just drove all by himself down the left side and put it in for Frontenac. St. Paul going to have to get something going quickly here. Lemons got it now on the left side for St. Paul. Chandler Bradshaw sets a screen. Lemons dribbles around to the top of the key. Timeout, Coach Watrick. He's going to talk about it. I don't blame him right now. Going to be a full timeout. We'll take 1 minute timeout. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. 4:30 left in the fourth quarter here in this ball game where St. Paul trails 52-29. St. Paul has the ball now, brings it in bounds after the timeout. Lemons with it, feeds it off to Dent on the right side. Dent drives the right side of the lane, feeds it back to Colin Carlson, who's in the game. Over to Haney now. Haney guarded out there loosely by Baldwin. Haney to the top of the key, feeds it to Dent. Dent drives to the free throw lane, kicks it to Albertini for three. Good. Adam Albertini with the three. 20-point lead now for Frontenac, 52-32, 3:59 left in the game. Frontenac with the basketball. That's Cleveland with it. He feeds it to Brooks. Brooks with the three of his own, 55-32 now. Every time St. Paul gets something going, Frontenac has an answer for it. Albertini going to drive the lane, pulls up short, stops, feeds it to Dent underneath, and Dent goes up with a good shot. Can't get it to go, but he draws a foul.
I didn't think they were going to call that, but they
late call, but
yeah.
At least they got the call on the shot. It's going to be on Franklin. Dent will go to the line to shoot two. Second foul on Franklin, team foul number 5 on Frontenac with 3:37 left. Dent's first shot's up, off the back of the rim, no good. Free throw woes continue for St. Paul as they can't get anything to go. Albertini's hit a couple of threes. Dent with that nice little shot underneath the basket. Second free throw up, and it's through there. 55-33 is your score. Timeout on the floor. Frontenac's going to call a timeout. So Frontenac's going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll stay here. 30-second timeout for Frontenac. They lead 55-33, 3:37 left in the ball game. Frontenac with 5 team fouls, St. Paul with 3. Trying to get a little something going on offense, Keith, but every time they do, Frontenac steps right back in and just answers. Yeah,
just about the time you think St. Paul looks like they're going to make a move, Frontenac does something to get back into it, answers it, where they answer a three-pointer. I'll tell you what, this all goes back to right after the second half. St. Paul was within 11, had 4 straight series where they made stops, come down and can't convert anything, and would have been easily within under 6 points and maybe had some control, but Frontenac answers, and we're back at 20-some point lead.
Yeah, here we are. Out of the timeout now. Frontenac's got the basketball down at their own end of the floor as they work it around on an offense. That's Cleland with it. He passes off to Brooks at the top of the key. Tries to feed underneath to Beckman, but he loses the handle on it. Colin Carlson comes up with it, feeds it to Albertini, who comes down the floor. Albertini pulls back at the top of the key. Three's good. Albertini heating up outside. They need that if he can keep it going. 55-36 now. Full court pressure by the Indians as Frontenac brings the ball. They break the press. Brooks has it. Passes it across to Baldwin, who drives the lane. Puts up the shot. He walked with it. They didn't call it. No good. Haney with the rebound. Feeds it out to Albertini as Frontenac gets back quickly on defense. Albertini down the right side. Backs out. Feeds it inside to Dent. Underneath Brooks, and he goes up, sinks the shot, gets a foul. Good play by Easton Dent underneath as they'll get a foul on Brooks. That could be his fourth. It's going to be maybe just his third.
I think it's his fourth.
Well, he's playing aggressive under there. It's his fourth foul on Brooks, team foul number 6. So Brooks will sit down for a few seconds or a minute or so, which is a good thing. It's 6-7 Brooks. So Easton Dent goes to the free throw line, can't convert, missed the free throw. 55-38 is the score, 2:44 left in the game. Frontenac breaks the press but slows it back down. Albertini now and Haney double teaming out front. Frontenac feeds it around the left side to Baldwin. He brings it back out to set it up again. Lemons guarding Baldwin out front. Feeds it down low on the left side to Franklin. Franklin drives the lane. Quick passes across the court to Beckman. Beckman will bring it back out front. Feeds it left side to Cleland, who almost loses a handle. Feeds it to Baldwin. Lemons tried to get the steal, couldn't make it go. Baldwin went towards the rim. Driving the lane, drew the foul. Puts up the shot. Shot was no good, but he did draw the foul. Foul's going to be on Easton Dent, I believe. He's the only one down there, I think. So, besides Colin Carlson. Called the foul on Colin Carlson, who was down there as well, I guess.
The floor,
It was on the floor. That's why I thought it was on Dent. It was on the shot, but it wasn't. It was on the floor on Colin Carlson, away from the ball. So Frontenac maintain possession. They'll bring it in bounds. They work the ball around to Baldwin out front. Guarded by Lemons. Baldwin left side now to Beckman.
That being on the floor is almost a worse call than
it is, yeah. Shot, that was Beckman who tried to put the shot up in there as he drove the lane against Dent. He put up the shot, it was no good, but Dent got him on the arm. That foul will be on Easton Dent. That is Dent's third, team foul number 5 on the Indians. And Beckman will go to the line to shoot 2. First shot's up by Beckman, it's through there. 56-38 is your score, 1:57 left in the ball game. Indians got a deep hole to climb out of. If they have a chance of getting back in this one, they better do it quick. Next shot up by Beckman, it's in there, 57-38.
It's going to be a running clock if they don't get something going here on this shot.
Got to do something here. Albertini's hot from outside. Feed it off to Haney on the right side, back out front to Albertini. He almost loses it on a kind of a bad pass by Haney. Haney's got the ball back now on the right wing.
St. Paul's standing flat-footed.
Yeah, they're not moving at all.
2 people on Haney, and St. Paul just standing there. They should be breaking the basket or something.
Albertini and Haney back and forth out front. Finally get it over to Lemons. He'll drive the baseline, put up the shot. No good, but he's no foul called. Colin Carlson with a rebound, the putback, and it's no good, but he draws a foul. Good move in there by Colin Carlson to get the ball and get a putback at least, which is a rare occurrence here in the second half, or the whole ball game really, but Carlson will go to the line to shoot 2. Fouls on Beckman, his second, team foul number 7, so St. Paul will be in the bonus. Carlson's first free throw's up and rolls out, no good. As he'll try again. 57-38 is your score, 1:30 left. Carlson's second shot is flat off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Frontenac.
Been traveling,
Frontenac comes down the floor with it. That's Baldwin over on the right side. He's double teamed out there, gets it back out front to Beckman, over left side now to Franklin. He's double teamed by Lemons and Albertini with foul called. As Franklin a little slow to get up, but he's fouled there by Lemons. I think that's going to be 4, on Lemons.
Yep, 4 on Lemons.
4th foul on Lemons will be the 6th team foul on St. Paul. As Frontenac coming in with some subs now with 1:16 minutes left in the ball game. And most of their starters will take a seat, excuse me, as Beckman will stay on the floor. looks like Baldwin's going to stay on. Baldwin's going to stay on the floor as well for Frontenac. So you got Haney, Albertini, Dent, Colin Carlson, and Lemons on the floor for St. Paul. Frontenac brings the ball in bounds with 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go in this one. Dent comes out to put some pressure on. Frontenac content to move the ball around, eat up some clock as much as they can. 3-point shot there by number 25, Nick Sieber. It's good. 6'5", senior for the Raiders. It's pretty flat, but it went right through the hole.
There was no arch on that ball. How that got in there might be.
60-38, under a minute to go. Long three-pointer by Lemons, off the back of the rim, no good. Token 3-point shot there. They didn't even try to run an offense, so.
You might want that film on that last shot for a physics class to see how that.
I don't know, it was awful flat. Frontenac, there he's going to try it again, Sieber. He's short this time. Lemons going to come up with a rebound underneath. 28 seconds left to go now in the ball game. 60-38 is the score. Lemons cross midcourt, feeds it over the right side to Dent. He'll put up the three, no good, short. Rebound Frontenac. Frontenac coming down with the ball, 16 seconds left. They're going to take their time. St. Paul not putting any pressure on. They're going to surrender. So that'll be the end of this one as we get under 10 seconds now. 7-6. They pass the ball down underneath the basket. They're not going to shoot it, though. He's standing by himself under the basket as the clock finally runs out and puts an end to this one. So that'll be the ball game as Frontenac comes to town and takes both of them. Boys lose out to Frontenac by a score of 60-38. We'll be back in 2 minutes with your KW Trucking postgame show. You're listening to St. Paul Indian basketball on Hot 105. Thanks, everybody, for listening to us on the live stream. Be sure and join us next week where we'll be on the road. It'll be on Tuesday evening. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it'll be on about 5:45 or so be sure and join us then. Thanks for listening.